Hi, everybody.
Hey, hey.
Hello. We're here. We made it all
Hello,
work.
internets.
Hello, internets. How are we all doing? Who saw the auroras? We thought we should talk
Everyone
about it.
saw the aurora except us.
I didn't see
None
the
of us did.
aurora.
God damn it.
I went
I
to bed.
I
Did you?
was in the basement of a townhouse in Bath on a hen do, very drunk on prosecco. No one
Oh.
messaged any of us being like, I would have run out.
It was
I'd have gone for a
very.
run. I'd have found somewhere
Where
to
did
watch
people
it.
find out? Because my dad told me. Maybe he was listening to the news or something, but I didn't. I didn't hear it from anyone except my dad.
No.
Mine
I mean, I
was
heard that they were saying stuff
Oh.
about it, but they say stuff about it quite a lot. So I was like, oh well, they
Oh,
normally
really?
aren't
Like you
anything.
overheard?
And
You're
then
like,
I was like,
it's something.
oh, it'll be fine.
Okay.
And then the next
Yeah.
morning I was like, oh damn.
Oh, like
Oh, damn,
here,
damn.
actually. God
Like-
damn it.
mine was loading up my Instagram the next morning and finding out, oh wow, why is everyone Insta stories just purple? Oh,
Just,
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's pictures look incredible.
But apparently it does look much better in picture. So I
That's what
think
they
I
were
did
saying.
see a pink tinge because I woke up because I'm breastfeeding and like went out like after everyone else had the main event, and I was like, I can't see anything. But but then the next day I was reading and I was like, okay, maybe that slight pinkish, maybe that wasn't a nearby city, maybe because it was north when I like looked on the map. I was like, oh, okay,
Wait,
I'll count it.
nearby city.
Just over the horizon,
There's no
a
nearby
really
city where
pink city, just
You know that famous pink
pinkishly
city in the
pinking.
UK?
Yes.
Sorry, do you live on
Yes.
Tatooine with like two suns?
Yeah, exactly.
We should introduce our guests,
Oh, we
probably.
should. Oh, I forgot about that.
we're-
Sorry, got a bit
Hi, I'm
distracted by
Emily. This is
auroras.
Sharmini. You know us. We're from the
We're us.
RPGeeks. But we've got two people here who haven't been with us
Special
before.
guests.
And they're both brand new to the channel, which we're very excited about. I'm going to start with straight below me, Dr. Alex Lathbridge. Alex, who are you? Tell the lovely people.
Dr. Alex Lathbridge, and we've been friends for so long that I can only imagine you did that on purpose just to throw me off
Let's
my
go with
game
that.
a little bit.
Let's go with
like you think, oh, you know what? He's
I've
gonna
been
be
thinking
wrong.
I've been getting it wrong this whole time, Emily.
Oh no.
Because you
I've
sounded
definitely
so
just
confident.
never said your name wrong. Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, is that how I
I'm
didn't know.
sorry.
Is that how you
I thought it
pronounce
was Lathbridge. It's Lathbridge.
No,
Okay, Dr.
we've
Alex
had-
Lathbridge.
Okay, cool. People watching, Emily and I have had conversations over Chinese food for like half an hour over my
your
name.
surname.
No, we haven't. Not about your surname, though.
Yes. Okay. Look. So people who want to know who I am, I'm a biochemist slash I make radio and audio. I produce. I present. I do lots of things, and I'm funny occasionally. And so yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I know a lot about physics as well.
Yes,
Mhm.
you do. Just like all of us here today. But one of us who actually really does know about physics and isn't just the rest of us pretending we know about physics is Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Welcome.
Hello, allegedly.
Allegedly, you know about physics.
Allegedly, Chloe.
Yeah.
Yes, allegedly. Hi, I'm Chloe. I did astrophysics at university and then I went away and did other stuff. So
Wise.
so I allegedly know about physics. But I do a lot of planetarium presenting. So my job is to know obscure facts about space. Whether I can explain the very complicated things, I don't need to do that
Ah.
because I'm mostly presenting to 6-year-olds. But
What is the
they know
fact that
lots of
goes
concepts.
down best with the 6-year-olds?
Oh, they like the fact that Saturn has so many moons because it's got the most moons at 146.
Aww.
And the
Wow.
video that I
Most
show them
moons.
only has like 6, and so they count them and they go, "Oh, Saturn has 6 moons," and I'm like, "No."
No. Can we just put 4 more up there just so it's 150 and there's a nice round number?
Oh, I wish.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be
Yeah.
that would be satisfying. I didn't know it had
Satisfying.
146. That's a lot. Oh,
Good number of
Alex,
moons.
I will just cut your feed. I'll kick you off the call. So right today, before I get distracted by Saturn's moons, we're going to be playing the new NASA TTRPG.
NASA wrote a TTRPG.
It came out a few months ago, and this tweet just landed with a video in of them being like, "Hey, what would happen if the space agency wrote a TTRPG?" And now I'm just going to caveat, I don't know if the people who wrote the tweets and necessarily made all the things quite understood what a TTRPG versus an adventure for a TTRPG
Yes,
was.
I had saw it being billed as a TTRPG and thought it was a system.
Well, they've called it a TTRPG.
yeah.
It is on them. So it's the NASA TTRPG. But it's not. It's a TTRPG adventure that they've made. But it's close. We'll forget them. They're NASA. They've got bigger things to worry about. You know,
we don't want to be those technically NASA. I think you're fine.
Actually,
Come on, like NASA. Seriously, get it together. It's not rocket science.
Hey. We're here all night. And so no, they've made an adventure. And what's really lovely and I find quite endearing about it is I think whoever wrote it for 5e. It has a very 5e feel to it. But then they've clearly gone, oh no, we mustn't specify which system we should be using. And so they're like, you can easily reskin it to fit whatever TTRPG system of your choice. So they then also talk about systems, knowing that there are systems. So, interesting.
I bet some lawyer was like, you can't do this because of copyright and didn't know that open game license exists.
I think that's exactly.
Well, they didn't want to promote one company
I would also,
over another.
I think as NASA, they are technically a government. Well, they are a government agency, so they would be promoting quite. So I don't quite know how that works.
Do you know what's wild? If think about it, yeah, NASA making a TTRPG adventure is weird because you can't roll dice in space.
Absolutely,
you're right.
No!
Well, you could just spin them and then grab it, and where it stops, I guess, would have to be what
you have a glue board on one side, and you just kind of throw your dice.
Throw them like darts.
And it gets stuck to the
dart TTRPG.
Dangerous.
Fun idea though. Darts TTRPG. What a cool idea.
Okay.
Anyway,
we'll workshop it.
We'll workshop it. We'll be back with next week. It'll all be darts based. So yeah, I'm putting it out there that this is a NASA written TTRPG. We're going to follow it like a pre-written adventure. I think this is the first time we've ever done a pre-written adventure on RPGeeks. We've always done our own versions. So I will be reading the box text.
So excited for box text.
And just to also add, NASA have written this TTRPG. They really want you to love certain things. So when I'm reading the box text, everyone, the views don't necessarily reflect the level of adoration that I have for the Hubble Space Telescope. But the box text is a big fan.
Box text is a fan. I love it. The box text is its own character in the whole story.
Maybe I should have a voice for the box text. Shall I do my
text.
Proper telephone voice for the box text?
Ooh, yeah.
I'll go into
a kind of Lemony Snicket narrator that is also actually a character.
Oh.
Yes, I love that.
Nice.
Okay, great, perfect, ideal. I should have done a little intro thing for this, but I haven't. Is there anything else we need to talk about before we just jump in?
We know who we are. I know who we are. We'll meet our characters.
Thanks all for being here. Get excited. Also, I saw everyone in chat being really excited for space. There's some space in it. There is some space in this adventure. You three know some bits, but we'll come to it. So, without further ado, let's begin. Oh, I've got the wrong doc open. Wait, let's not begin. Hang on. I've not got my actual notes open.
Everyone lower expectations.
Yeah, everyone calm down.
How about instead of let's begin, maybe it's 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
This is where the music would kick in if I was doing sound design. Anyway.
Interstellar music.
Back in 1990, NASA launched a revolutionary new observatory called the Hubble Space Telescope into low Earth orbit. About the size of a school bus, Hubble was destined to change humanity's view of the cosmos with its high-resolution view of the universe. By placing the telescope above Earth's murky atmosphere, it would be able to observe space without any interference from clouds, light pollution, or atmospheric distortion. Hubble's vision sees beyond what the human eye can, extending into ultraviolet and near-infrared ranges. The placement and design of this telescope would revolutionize our understanding of the cosmos, launching an era of unparalleled astronomical discovery. Plus, Hubble's design included the ability to be serviced in space by astronauts, which allowed the telescope to be repaired and upgraded multiple times.
I know, that is cool. That's cool.
It's cool. Sorry, all this stuff
That's
is
cool.
actually genuinely cool. I love that this is the box text. Anyway.
Multiple times.
But in this world, it's as if Hubble never even existed. And in a world without Hubble, nobody knows the age of our universe, or that black holes lurk in the centers of galaxies, or just how much beauty the cosmos contains. Without Hubble, there is also no James Webb Space Telescope.
Oh no!
Everyone would be terrified.
Oh.
Without the critical experience of servicing missions completed by astronauts in space, the International Space Station also never happened. Technology that detects cancer, tracks endangered species, decodes ancient manuscripts, and more is also lacking. You and your friends work at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland. Your jobs are exciting and fulfilling on the most part, and you and the team discover more about your planet and universe every day. But you can never shake the feeling that something big is missing. A subtle ache lives in your mind, insisting that you're forgetting something. But it's always just out of reach. The more you try to remember, the worse the pain gets. Each of you experience this feeling, but lately, it's been impossible to ignore. So, we begin. Dr. Claire Balding, would you like to explain what a day in the life of or the morning of Dr. Claire Balding as she arrives at work at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center? There we go.
Right. So Dr. Balding is a thin woman with tall hair, dressed quite smartly with some statement jewelry, striding confidently into her sort of lab space where she's got like a few like research assistants and students and things who sort of work under her. And as usual, she is I think she's sort of in mid-flow of like a morning meeting. And she sort of always comes in and sort of interrupts everyone's work to make sure that they're paying attention to the important morning meetings. She's like, okay, listen to me. This is today is going to be a great day. We're going to go out there. We're going to discover facts about space. It's very important. I need you all to work very hard. We've got Tim coming in today, obviously. Tim is coming in again, our intern. Very, very exciting. I need you to, make sure...
You hear a subtle groan throughout the lab assistants as they mention Tim.
You show him everything he needs. He might be able to help you. He is a very, very bright young man. Very, very impressive resume. I mean, just stunning. But anyway, get out there. Find out about space. I know that this murky atmosphere is in the way, but we can peer through it into the wonders of the whole universe. And there was something else, but I've forgotten what it was. So if anyone remembers it, do just let me know, okay?
Dr. Balding, Dr. Balding.
Yes.
And you see Becky, one of your lab assistants, sort of raises her hand while you're...
Becky, yes, hello, Becky.
Hi.
Tell us your thoughts.
It's just the atmosphere. I was looking at these readings that we were getting from La Palma, and it's just, we can't really make anything out, and it would be really helpful if, we could do something about that. Could you do like an equation or something to just like negate it?
Becky, do you have billions of dollars available to build a telescope that's not in our atmosphere?
I mean, we do work for
Do you want some kind of a
NASA.
moon telescope or something? Is that what you're saying we need?
Hey, that could kind of work, right?
Well, I don't have that, okay?
Okay.
What we have is ground-based observatories, occasionally up mountains where
It
the
just looks
atmosphere is
like
thinner.
there's some quite like interesting things on the screen, but we just can't quite get through.
Well, I need you to break through. I need you to take your determination. I need you to yell, I can learn science. And then I need you to boost in.
Okay.
And find the facts.
Oh, and also, I had to
Yes,
work with Tim last week, so I really think you should make like Dave or someone.
Oh, he needs a diversity of of experience here.
No, that's what I was
Absolutely.
thinking too. I was thinking diversity of experience,
Yes,
not just
exactly.
always around me,
Yeah,
is what I
Gabe.
was thinking. Great.
Gabe?
Okay, cool.
Tim is gonna you're gonna learn something, I think.
Dave is sort of quite a quiet, mousy,
Yes.
mousy man. He's got big glasses, and he looks over and he goes, "Oh, okay, okay."
Confidence, Dave.
I'm excited. No, I'm working on the new telescope for a big mountain somewhere. So, okay. Anyway, at this point, Tim, where are you? You're on your way to your new intern job.
Right. So yeah, I got my backpack on. It's all all on the all on the side. I'm walking up. Walked past the place. I went to get some coffee. It was quite nice, and then they gave me my new badge. So I've been really enjoying putting my badge in and flipping it.
Beep.
And I've had like lots of enjoying things. Like I know where all the good pens are. And did you know that NASA seems to have an unlimited supply of post-it notes? So that's quite cool. And yeah, I've just been learning lots of stuff about physics and like red shifts. Those are things. And yeah, so that's been quite good. Yeah.
So you make your way to the office or the lab of Dr. Claire Balding, and you enter.
Hi, Dr. Balding.
Tim, you're here. Come in. Oh,
Hi,
we
hi,
are. How are
uh,
you doing? How is everything for you? Are
I mean,
you
I love the energy. Like you know me from the Midwest, Ohio. We love these hugs and cuddle. Like this is great. I feel part of the team. I'm
Yeah.
learning so much.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Although I did mean to ask you the other day, like your accent is like whereabouts in Ohio? Because I this is it's very, very interesting.
Midwest
Yeah, yeah.
in
Oh,
the
oh,
middle.
sorry. The Midwest of Ohio in the mid. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You know, people
Mid.
say Ohio is in the Midwest,
But
and Tim's from the Midwest
oh,
of
that's
Ohio.
funny. That's
We're
funny.
the Ohio of Ohio, Ohio squared, if you will.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me how you got that whole national merit scholar like physics champion thing sometime. But today, you and Dave are gonna be working on some really fascinating stuff, and I know you have a lot of coding experience. So I really think that maybe you could help us out a little bit here.
Oh,
Definitely.
cool. You're a coder.
Yeah, I code.
That'd be really great. Okay. And Dave proceeds to explain this
Here we go, Dave.
exceptionally complex coding thing. I'm not a coder.
You
And it is like if you right, so it's pretty simple, right? So once that's done, I reckon you should get that done in the next couple of hours, right? Someone of your skill. I saw your CV. So yeah, take it away, Tim.
Yeah, so easy here. What you have to do is there's a dictionary bypass here, so it's really
Right,
simple
you don't
stuff.
need
It's
to
just
tell me. You just need to
okay,
do it.
cool,
Right. Okay.
right.
And Dave turns his back on you, and starts working on a different computer.
Just gonna like squeeze Tim's shoulder and be like, "You go, Tim."
And you see Dr. Balding, you see Becky and Dave kind of give each other a look of like, okay, let's see if he can do it. And Tim, you begin attempting to code something important for a telescope. At this point, we're going to zoom out to the corridor, and we see a figure walking towards Dr. Balding's office. Chloe, would you like to describe what Sasha looks like?
Yeah, Sasha's quite a small woman, both in size and also just in stature. She tends to walk around head down, kind of keeping herself to herself. She wears glasses that are slightly too big for her face, so they make her eyes look really tiny. And she's got kind of wavy, like almost auburn colored hair, as she's kind of scurrying down the corridor, holding two sheets of paper in her hands, both of them labeled Tim Jacobs, and is kind of looking at both of them, heading towards Dr. Balding's office and being like, looking at them both, sighing, and then just turning around and going, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. It's just an intern. He'll be here for a couple of weeks, then he'll be gone. And then turning back around towards the office and going, no, it's a real big mix-up, and she really needs to know. she's gonna be so mad. And she's kind of going back and forth and probably getting quite a few weird looks as she's kind of going
You
to
do
herself.
you see one of your colleagues is like, "You're right, Sasha."
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you for your concern. Everything is totally fine and good and 100% working.
Great.
The system is working.
All right, I'll see you in the office later. Okay, you gonna sort that Tim Jacobs thing out?
I already sorted.
Okay.
Sorted. Yeah.
Great.
Done.
Great.
Totally
See you
fine.
later for the meeting. And you approach the office door.
It's like a hesitation and then just a very quiet knock.
I will bound enthusiastically over to the door. Who could this be today? Oh,
Hi, Dr. Balding.
it is it's my colleague, Ms. O'Brien from Human
Mhm.
Resources.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is nice to see you in a professional context today as colleagues.
Oh. Right. Oh, okay.
Did you want
Sure,
anything in particular, or you must be checking up on Tim. All right, come this way, this way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
now
yeah.
listen up. You do need to be very careful when you're in the lab. Even though, obviously this isn't a telescope right here, but still our equipment is very delicate. So just don't touch anything.
I know.
Don't press any of the keys on the computer. If you see a computer open, don't type anything there. Don't,
I know
decide
how
to
a
give
lab
someone
works.
else send a little email, give someone else a promotion instead of someone else. You don't have to do any of that. You can just walk, follow me. And here is Tim. He's doing some coding for us. Okay, thank you. Bye. And I'm gonna go off to my desk.
I think you'd probably have a little corner office with
Yeah.
one of those glass panels,
Yes.
so you can still see out and see all your assistants working. So you go and settle down.
I think Sasha's got like thoroughly distracted and is just like kind of staring at the corner office like oh, right. Mr. Jacobs, is it?
Hi. Hi. Hi.
What is that? What are you doing?
I'm coding.
You look at the screen and you just see Microsoft Paint open, and Tim has started typing out just sort of a string of numbers.
Right. Is that what you call that? Okay.
Yep.
Listen, I was just wondering if you could answer a couple queries about your application.
Yeah.
You've got a couple minutes.
The Midwest of the Midwest. Yeah.
Ohio, was it?
Yeah. Yes. That's where I'm from. Tim Jacobs.
As he's like still looking at the screen and she gets out these like two separate pieces of paper and then is like, oh, so what kind of coding were you doing in Ohio, Mr. Jacobs?
So it was about astrophysics. I'm part of the astrophysics club. And next year I'm going to be accepted to Harvard, so I'm going to be going there and doing more. And so it's about space, and like eventually one day we could have a telescope maybe on the moon. And so that's what I'm coding, a telescope for the moon.
At this point, Becky comes over and goes, if you're going to have this conversation, some of us are trying to make telescopes that might potentially change the course of the universe. Can you maybe go have it in like Dr. Balding's office?
Yeah, no, of course. Tell you what, Tim, why don't you just come over to HR when you have a spare moment or something? We don't need to bother the good doctor.
I feel like Dr. Balding.
Oh, you still here, Mr. Brian? Tim, come. I wanted to ask you some things. Ms. O'Brien, if you would care to supervise, I think it's very important that you see how well Tim is doing and how much of a good mentor I am being for young Mr. Jacobs. Just in case I were to put in any future applications for anything, promotions, maybe fellowships, just to make sure that you have a full, deep insight into my many talents, not just physics, but mentoring. Mentoring is very important. Tim.
Yes, I'm here, Dr. Barding.
Sure.
As you all head into Dr. Balding's office, you just sort of, as the door closes, you hear Becky turn to Dave and go, Dr. Balding's lost her spark recently. I feel like she used to be a lot better at her job. And then the door just sort of closes as all three of you are in Dr. Balding's office.
It once you're in my office, so it's I think typical like academic office where there's just like shelves and books and like mess. And just as you come in, there's a like little framed photo on the on a bookshelf, which she quickly just like moves a book in front of. But as you glance, it's a like curling stone. Or is it called a rock? I think it's called a stone or a rock.
The ones that they do the shuffling with the broom, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like a framed photo just of a curling stone on the ice. She just like puts a book in front of it. Just like
See, Dr. Balding, I really think you should take a look at these.
No, I've got this. Don't worry. I know how to mentor. Thank you, Mrs. O'Brien. I don't need any advice from you. If you just listen to me and
I know it's just
this, then you'll see. Now, Tim, now you have a lot of excellent experience. Now, looking at your resume, I can see the Excellence in Science Award that was at your high school in Ohio. Why don't you tell us about the project that involved?
So, yeah. So, sorry, I just, got to stay hydrated before I, talk about.
Yeah, that is very important. That's not physics, but it is very important.
Bottle shaking. Taking as long of a sip as possible to not have to go.
Tim, as you start drinking from this bottle and the shaking, you know you're nervous, and you know why you're nervous. But the shaking sort of, it feels heavy. Like the water bottle feels heavy in your hands. It's heavier. Everything feels a bit heavier, and you're sort of like, oh, are you having a panic attack? Something's weird's happening. But you need to push through. You need to get through this conversation.
Okay, so so yes,
you were first in your class, right? And that sent you to a national competition where you won the award.
Sasha, as you say this, your voice starts to shake, and you too start to feel this intense exhaustion sort of just taking over your body. And Dr. Balding, as you watch this, you too start feeling your feet are heavy, and should you sit down? I don't know, but your eyes almost feel like they're starting to close, and sort of the air starts to fizz around you, and all of you feel the exhaustion just becomes overwhelming. It's almost like you're about to fall asleep, but suddenly you realize that is not the case, and the hair on the back of your neck all stands up, and suddenly you are plunged into darkness. A few seconds later, the darkness fades around you, and you find yourself standing in front of a stone archway with shades of blue and green and purple playing and dancing within it. It's, if you were talking about a sci-fi novel, it would be what you would assume is a portal. And you see there's a few of them in the space around you. You're sort of in this glass building, and something about this is familiar. It almost feels like a bus stop on Earth, where all the buses pull in, and the final stop of a bus station. Yeah. And as you take in everything, you see a sign high above the large letters in large letters above the portal you've just exited, and it reads, "Welcome to Alderstrom." The more you take in these very strange yet somewhat familiar surroundings, you start hearing strange languages of people and creatures walking by, different species you've never seen before. But quite quickly you realise you're standing in a group of 3 that all seem to be experiencing a similar confusion. And I'll start with Dr. Balding. As your fellow players look at you, what do they see?
They see a sort of short for a human, but medium-sized owl person. They're very handsome. They're a very handsome owl person, wearing sort of a swooshy black outfit with like a little pouch, and like it's edgy. It's cool.
It's almost like some feathers sort of almost
The other night
fall over one of the owl's
yeah.
eyes.
It's not good for my vision.
And as you do the 360 like look around, it sort of always perfectly stays over. And Tim Jacobs, what do the others see as they look at you?
So basically, what they see is a medium-sized individual, sort of dark cropped hair, nice little shape up, bang, but definitely human or near human. But on his eye, it appears to be just one big lens. And it's quite weird. You can tell there's a human eye behind there. It's sort of like a steampunk version of a monocle.
Steampunky vibe, yeah.
And where his mouth would be, there seems to be something that looks, you sort of think like it's a Darth Vader respirator, but it looks like it's been cobbled together like a harmonica. It's like a child tried to make a Darth Vader mask out of parts of a harmonica.
Stunning. And finally, Sacha O'Brien, what do they see when they look at you?
You see a very tall, large person with horns and floppy ears, reminiscent of perhaps a bull. It's very buff, wearing not very much, like just like you can see that arm muscles and everything, and it has like gold earrings and like septum piercing and things, and yeah, it's basically just a very tall, very buff person, but like the shoulders are still like rounded and is still like standing very awkwardly as if they are used to being much smaller.
Fantastic. What would you like to do or say? I have more if you would have nothing in particular, but
so when
the hell did you code?
So at the national competition, we looked at Why does my voice sound like? Oh, yes, this is my voice. Yes.
All right, listen, and like also this like that's my voice is very screechy. Listen to me. I am not supposed to. This is not where I was.
Dr. Balding?
Sash, Ms. O'Brien. Sash?
What?
You're very large. You're very
small.
I am not very. I am perfectly reasonably sized.
You are quite small.
But why are we in... And then she like feels her face and is like,
why? Some sort of genetic experimentation, maybe?
My nose is so big.
You start in the glass of the building. You can sort of, if you get close, you can just about see your reflections in the building.
Okay, we have been
all right.
spliced with animals. Can they do that? Can they?
I mean,
but what?
I just look like I've been spliced with a watchmaker.
Yeah, you haven't been spliced, Tim. You're just you've been cyborgized.
I've always wanted to be cyborgized.
How would any of this have happened?
Well, some sort of attack. They've clearly drugged us, stolen us from Goddard, and spliced us in order to steal NASA's secrets. Okay, don't worry, everyone. If you just listen to me, we will be fine. We will just need to talk to whoever's in charge. We will negotiate for our release. We will play along like we're going to give them the secrets to looking at things far away in space, but we will not. Do you understand? Do you both understand how important it is?
We specifically couldn't really see the things that are far away in space.
Sasha, Ms. O'Brien.
Oh,
You-
okay.
You wouldn't understand, would you? You're from human resources. All you understand is how to cheat people out of
Well,
promotions. That's what you do. You don't know about things far away in space.
We studied together. I know a bit.
Okay, yes, true. But that was a long time ago, so you should just listen to me. I am getting very much closer to looking at things that are far away in space. That is, I'm working on
Good.
it. I'm working on it.
That's really good. You should be really proud of that. I don't think this has got anything to do with looking far away in space, though. I don't know how they did this. Who's they?
As you are having this conversation, you sort of look out the windows and down the street, and you can see what looks like a general high street from like what would be a medieval game, maybe computer game that you've played. There is like something like a cross hanging between streetlights and lanterns hanging down poles, and a broad sign hangs out from a building showing the dark head of a horse on a field of bright red, along with a frothy mug. And there does appear to be a sort of semicircle of people surrounding the door, and some loud shouting from inside.
Those people over there, them, they're responsible. Come with me.
Okay. This doesn't look like a place with technology to splice genes, but okay.
March over.
Looks kind of like Sheffield,
Follow
not
along.
gonna lie.
As you
Looks
walk
like where?
along,
It's Sheffield, Ohio.
as you walk
oh,
along
I-
what looks to be the main street, you come upon what appears to be a tavern. The sign hanging above the door reads Horsehead Tavern, and the exterior looks very well kept, though it might have been there for a while. Within the tavern, you hear the sounds of a commotion, and people walking by are kind of either giving it a wide berth or peering through the door. But some still go inside, some people just sort of think better of it and keep moving. And as you get closer, you just hear two voices shouting each other. And the first one says, "What are you trying to say?" No, it's the ghosts from old Moxana making our researchers disappear." And then you hear, "That is nonsense. What really happened was the criminal underbelly of this city is getting out of control. Rampant kidnappings is what it is. You've seen how ineffective the guard is." No, the captain keeps sending the guard outside the city. That's where the trouble is. I'll bet my nose. As you walk past, you see a gnomish individual wearing very posh clothes and a taller human, and you see this gnomish individual just leap and go to punch the human in the head inside.
Oh my.
And a full-on bar brawl just breaks out with about 7 people all getting involved. There are tables flying. This is insane. What would you like to do?
Fight.
Tim Jacobs starts shouting fight. Other people join in. Fight.
No, not fight. Physical violence is bad. Oh dear.
Everyone, I demand you listen to me.
Make me a charisma. Actually, let's do a persuasion check for me using your character stats.
Good at that. Yeah. Oh, 13.
13. As you sort of shout, you see some of the people watching the fight turn to you and are like, "Oh yeah, we're listening," but the people in the fight sort of still are just like punching each other. You see the human pull out a knife and start like looking to attack, and then you suddenly see from the corner this elvish figure behind the bar step forward, dark skin, long white hair, and he just reaches a hand out and throws it up, and the knife suddenly just flies up to the ceiling, and he goes, "No knives in the bar."
What kind of freaky gene experiment is this?
Ceiling
Probably don't.
magnets.
I don't think they serve shepherd's pie here. You need a knife for that.
What are you doing?
Right. Is this a sort of thing that we're meant to go towards? Are they the ones in charge?
Tim? Yes, I think yes. Exactly. Well, no, we'll find out. Who is in charge here?
Can someone
Probably-
stop them fighting? And the figure from the bar just sort of shouts over the over the crowd, looking very intently at the large minotaur in the doorway.
I sort of like look around at Sasha like,
Yeah, everyone looks around and Sasha's like,
It's like, and everyone just stares at you and it's like, oh. And at this point, it is just the gnome and the human just like punching. Like both of them are getting bloody, and there is still a light fight chant going, but mainly from Tim. Most other people have kind of just started listening to Dr. Balding.
so Sasha just kind of takes a step forward, looks uncertainly at the gnome, and then just tries to pick it up in one hand.
Make me either just a straight strength or an athletic. Just let's do an athletics check for me.
Okay. Oh, that's a non-nat 20.
Oh yeah, you absolutely. No, you pick up the gnome, and then the human is almost attached to the gnome, just trying to like get at its neck, and you just grab the other side and you just pull them apart.
No, don't. Please don't.
And as they're sort of like dangling in the air, they just sort of both go, oh, sorry.
Is there like a problem here?
Yeah, sorry, we just disagree on things, and tensions are running a little bit high in the city at the moment.
Okay, well, maybe you can resolve your differences with a debate or a discussion or some kind of organized mediation meeting.
Organized mediation meeting.
Yeah,
I have
you know,
no
like
idea what that is.
you have like a mediator who's unbiased, and you discuss your things, and
that's a great idea, Sasha. I can be the mediator. You just listen to me and I will tell you who's right.
You know what?
I'm qualified to I have qualifications.
If you just listen to me, I'm sure I can solve your problems.
At this point, the elven bartender walks over and goes, "Thank you. I've got a way of mediating this. Both of you get out of my pub." And it just goes and like
that works too.
And he gestures for you to like throw them out the door.
Oh.
I just put them down in the doorway gently.
They both look a little bit embarrassed and just sort of like scuttle out into the street, and they go, we should find a mediator. And the door to the bar closes, and everyone starts like picking back up chairs. And
I think I actually am big. I thought you were small, but no, it's me.
It's good, Sasha.
Yeah, sorry. Tensions have been a bit high in the city recently, you know, with the kidnappings and all. Can I get you a drink? Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Points to Sasha.
I'm Sasha.
Sasha? Oh,
yeah.
Sure. Suits you, I guess. And sort of heads to the bar. What can we get you?
Oh, just something strong at this point.
Something strong. We can do that. And pulls a bottle that is this sort of bright purple colour from the back shelf and pours out 3 shots. You can have one for your friends as well.
Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. You said something about kidnappings? I think.
Right. Are you new to the area?
Claire, like. Well, I think we've been.
We have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
You've been kidnapped.
Yes.
But you're here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we demand to be released.
Where do you... where have you been kidnapped from? Because you don't feel like you're being taken prisoner, unless it was him, and points to Tim Jacobs.
I'm from Ohio.
I don't know where Ohio is.
Midwest.
He's from the Midwest of Ohio. Isn't that funny?
Anyway. You guys, are we somewhere like in Europe? That doesn't seem right.
Europe.
How did we get to Europe that quickly?
Sorry, what is a Europe?
Do they not? They probably don't call it Europe in Europe. Like if you're in Europe, you probably just call it like home or something.
No, we call it Europe. Is what they would say. That's what Europeans would say.
Do they? Oh, Tim, you won that trip to Italy from that award you won. So Tim knows the language. Okay, Tim, negotiate for a release. Thank you.
Yeah, right. I haven't kidnapped you.
No, someone has and brought us here.
Again, I don't think you're understanding what kidnapping is. You seem free to walk around. Is there someone here endangering you? I will kick them out. Ask for Angela. I don't know if it works in this situation, but I think it could.
Sasha's eyes very briefly flick to Clara and then back again.
Is
like no.
Excuse me. If you wouldn't mind just stepping over there, please. Points
Oh,
to.
no, it's fine. We're colleagues.
What?
It's fine.
We are, yes, Sasha, that's right. Professional colleagues, and that's all.
Sasha just
Right.
downs the shot
I'm
there.
going to say
and then,
something
like,
really weird to you three. Do you know what an earth is?
What on earth is what?
Yeah.
Are you
Like, in terms like dirt or like the earth?
the earth?
The earth. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this a
Do
trick
you call
question?
it that in Europe? We are
I don't
on
know
the
what
earth.
a Europe is. Do you think you're on Earth?
Europe is on the earth.
You are on Earth too. I know it's far away, but
No,
even
sorry.
Europe is still.
Please, you could stay. No, follow me. Come with me behind the bar now.
Okay.
Okay, let's not antagonize the kidnapper. Come on.
Tim walks around, hands end up going into very sticky things. Seems to be just the sticky things
Sticky things in pockets. Like
on the bar.
Oh,
Like,
I
you touch the-
see.
when you touching the bar,
things.
when you touch the bar, you know, oh,
Tim.
faint smell of WKD.
As you follow, and as you he goes, I'm Damien. I don't know if I said it. Hello,
Oh.
hi.
Good to meet you.
As you follow Damien to a back area of the tavern, he leads you into an office. It's a simple area, but it has this large desk, behind which is standing an elven woman with long blonde hair. Her back is to you, but she turns as you enter. She smiles, but her eyes are guarded, and she seems to be sizing each of you up with only a glance. Thank you, Damien. That will be all for now. And she dismisses him with a casual wave of the hand. He nods, closes the door behind him on his way out. She perches on the edge of her desk, folding her hands in her lap, and makes eye contact with each of you in turn, very slowly, very deliberately. Her eyes flare
Sasha looks
briefly.
away immediately.
As you do that, her eyes flare, and you sort of see this sort of magical essence appear from her eyes. It looks just like lights appear out of her eyes, and you see a small smirk appear on her face. Oh, you certainly aren't from around here, are you? Jumping planes take some powerful magic, but transferring consciousness, well, that is something else entirely. I presume you're the ones we've been waiting for from Earth.
We are
Is
from
this
Earth. Yes. And I don't remember coming on a plane, but we may have come via plane, I imagine, if we are in Europe.
You are in Exlaris, in the city of Alderstron.
Tim? Where's that, Tim?
Well, there's Aldershot, but I haven't heard of Next Laris before.
Are we near Aldershot?
No. You are on the planet Exlaris.
Tim, is that what they call it in Italy?
I'm not sure. Maybe, perhaps.
maybe planet is a Italian word?
Okay,
For,
you're
like,
not
country?
in Italy, you're not in Europe. I don't know why I said Europe, I've never heard of that place. But
What's in Europe?
people have been going missing in Alderstron. But before that, you were sent for.
We were, well, we did not consent to be sent for.
I understand that, and I'm afraid the people who sent for you are the people who have gone missing.
Well, I really don't want to be on TV if that's what this is.
What is a TV?
Oh, jeez.
The people who kidnapped us have also been kidnapped. Is that what you're saying?
Well, again, no you're not kidnapped.
Are
But-
they kidnapped?
We believe so.
Right.
We think
Okay.
we might have taken something of yours.
Theft.
Us?
No, not
What-
you.
what?
Something else. It's look.
I lost a lot of files, but
There is an observatory in Alderstron, the center of the city.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I love an observatory. Tell me more about your observatory.
Well, it sits in the center of the city, looking out into space. Obviously.
Oh, how is the atmosphere here?
Well,
Thin?
funny you should mention. We actually don't have one.
That
How?
No, we
That
are
seems to be
protected.
a
We are
problem,
protected by a powerful magic, a powerful shield. You see, around many hundreds of years ago, when I was but a child, there was a black hole passed by our solar system and sent our planet out of its orbit, unfortunately. So we are now what I believe you would call a rogue planet. We wander the
How are we
cosmos,
not-
and how are we not dead? Excellent question. We're very well
Yeah.
made. We harness an energy, and we therefore created a shield. Our best wizards at the time, I was one of them, and they protected the planet, kept it safe. We harness the energy of the universe, the dark energy, some might call it.
Wait, what? You harnessed it?
Yes. Magic.
How?
How?
No, see. Yeah, how?
We just do. It's the energy of the universe, you see, and I think we are innately linked to it here on Exlaris.
How do you
the
do that
tech
without
wizards.
I mean, look,
understanding?
watch, and she just casts a ball of fire in her hand.
Whoa!
See, magic.
Oh,
That
Gets
is
rid of it.
sufficiently advanced technology to appear as magic.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, yes, I know. I understand that because I believe your world is all technology. So therefore, you might think, "Oh, magic, terrifying." But look, also this, and she just sort of makes you all levitate, and suddenly you're all in the air.
I would expect sufficiently advanced technology to be understood by
Okay,
the
fine.
sufficiently
Drops you all.
advanced
ow.
people using it. I'm very confused.
Let's not antagonize the potential.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Sorry.
the people
knackers.
there were some people who have gone missing, researchers at the observatory, and I expect they have the key to sending you home. You see, they were connecting with your world, getting information from something called the Hubble Space Telescope, and a few weeks ago, that telescope appeared to be erased from your timeline, which would take significant magic. The researchers were theorizing that it ended up here somehow, and to my knowledge, they summoned you all, people familiar with the telescope, to help find and return it. We tap into a magical, powerful source of energy, but we don't truly understand it, so they had no idea when you might arrive. Then they started going missing. I can make the necessary introductions at the observatory, but I expect you to tell those researchers to pay me a visit when they get back. Of course, if you don't want to help, I'm sure you'll enjoy spending the rest of your existence on our little world. And the delivery of that last line, vaguely like a threat.
Yeah. I was getting that sense. Thanks. Yeah,
we got that.
Yeah.
Put my hand. Tim put his hand up.
Yes, yes.
This is Tim Jacobs, our intern.
Thank you, Tim Jacobs. The intern.
He's from Ohio.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Tim. Yeah, I'm Tim Jacobs. Yes.
Tim Jacobs. Am I saying that right?
Tim. Yes.
I've been saying it wrong. Oh, Tim, I'm so sorry.
So this feels like we're sort of a magical man with van type situation, or men with van.
Mercenaries is what we would normally call it, but you'll be mercenaries from Earth.
Okay. So how do we take this telescope back?
I don't know.
Right. Okay.
Well, you're saying you
Bob?
have a telescope that we could have.
I don't know where that is. I
But
think
you
we may have
know.
accidentally taken it. But the
You were
researchers who have gone
borrowed.
missing would know.
So if we find them,
So
we
we
get
got-
to go back home and we get a free telescope.
I think it's yours anyway, and I think you have paid for it in the past.
It's a potential telescope. It's
It didn't come out of my grant funding, so I
Schrodinger's
did not pay for
telescope,
it.
I would call it. I mean, I believe all three of you are very intricately linked to it.
Good.
great.
Okay.
Good. Excellent. We could do that. We gotta get this telescope, guys.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. Yeah.
So,
So-
just tell me.
We
what-
agree.
Tell me a little bit about your planet, your Earth, and this NASA.
Oh, NASA. No, it's not NASA.
Do you have to shout it? Is
NASA.
it NASA?
No, it's NASA. Not NASA.
NASA, just NASA. It's
NASA.
National Aeronautics and I thought I knew the acronym, but I don't.
Space.
Space Agency.
National
We can make
Aeronautical
one up.
Space Agency.
Naughty amphibians say awooga. Sorry,
Start that
that's
so
a book I'm
confidently,
writing. Anyway, she shuts a drawer very quickly.
So not good.
Right, Danielle Steele.
My name's Failwin, by the way.
Hello, Failwin. Now, I am Dr. Claire Balding. I work at NASA.
NASA.
No, NASA.
Sorry,
NASA. NASA. I'm hoping to one day become a fellow professor, get a promotion. That hasn't happened yet for unknown reasons. But anyway, there have been some snafus going on there. But I'm a very big deal.
Right.
Generally, I study very distant things in space. It's very hard. The atmosphere gets in the way. This is Tim Jacobs. He is such a little star. He is absolute genius. Can I say genius, Tim? I don't want to embarrass you, but he is a genius.
I mean,
Good. That's what we need.
I wouldn't bandy around genius too much.
Yes, Sasha,
Right,
you don't think
Tim?
anyone deserves accolades, do you?
No,
You think everyone should be maybe put in their place, maybe
Not at all,
deserved
no.
promotions withheld from them? Is that what you think, Sasha? Tim, why don't you tell the nice person here about your physics project experience?
Oh, I would love to hear that.
There's a man, and he lives inside the computer, and his name is Clippy.
Oh, Clippy, and she starts writing it down.
He
Yeah, go on.
helps. And so,
Explain
And
a
so-
computer.
okay, so the voice just keeps modulating through various different
Love
accents.
it. Yeah.
Bitches.
What you have to
that's
understand.
Tim's a little bit addled from the
Oh,
what
from
did
the
you call it?
transport.
Consciousness transfer.
Yes. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. How are you finding your new bodies?
Terrifying.
Disquieting, but good.
I'm
Good.
trying not to think about it.
Okay, lovely. Well, sorry, you were saying about Clippy? Is he
Dr. Balding,
important?
help.
No. Clippy's not important.
Right.
It's just a fun mascot for the physics project, right? Tim, on your CV was like a fun little joke.
Yes, Clippy. It's
Yeah.
it stands for computational lensing inside particle participates. Yes.
Oh my god.
Wonderful. That's an interesting
clever.
spelling of how I wouldn't have thought it, but interesting. Excellent.
I didn't know that your language was like English. Are we speaking English right now?
No, you're speaking Exlari. We have one language for the entire planet. Some people have local languages, but there is one common.
Ah, like
You're very
Eurovision.
fluent.
I understand.
Yes.
Oh, why do we know the language? I thought we were speaking English.
No, you're speaking Exlari. Maybe it's similar. I don't know.
Did you study it in your year abroad, Tim? Is that how?
Well, you're speaking it too, Dr. Balding.
I'm very smart, so
Right,
yes,
of course. I'm sure you're all very, very smart.
makes sense.
Now, I will say, if you are going to help and go to the observatory and try and find your telescope and our missing researchers, do just steer clear of the town guards. They won't like that you've spoken to me.
Right.
On the run from
And-
the law.
No, not on the run, just on the wrong side of sometimes.
Gosh.
Yes,
Tim.
Tim.
This is Tim. This is Tim Jacobs.
Tim Jacobs.
He's from Ohio.
Ohio's Tim Jacobs.
He's not from Ohio.
He's not from Ohio. Tim, are you from Ohio?
That's beside the point, I
Okay.
think, maybe.
Yeah, let's move on.
So you said the guards don't like you and we shouldn't tell them that are you a terrorist?
Oh, no, I wouldn't call... No. I just...
Please don't use the word freedom fighter.
In our society, You see, there are people who no. You see, I used to help run the observatory, but I didn't like the way they were necessarily doing things there, and I left. And since then, I have started what I would like to call my own business.
Are there internships?
I was thinking of sending out an application for an intern quite soon. Yes, job advert.
Why don't we look at finding these missing researchers first?
I think that would be great. I'll tell you what, you find the missing researchers, Tim. The job's yours, but I assume you'd want to go back to your job at NASA.
Yes.
Anyway, yes, so just to recap, you're on Exlaris in the city of Aldestron, with the observatory in the centre of the city, and we've lost some of our researchers who had previously sent for you to recover your telescope. I hope that makes perfect sense. Some might call it exposition. We all clear on the exposition.
It makes no sense, but the logic is clear.
Lovely. Let me write you a quick letter for the observatory. And she writes out a little with like a quill. It's very, very old school. And let me sorry, one sec.
Dr. Balding, Sasha, are we terrorists now?
Yeah.
We will do
No.
what we need to do to survive and get a free telescope and go home. We're acting under duress, Tim.
Right. If you go find Morgan at the observatory, they will help you.
Fine.
They're the head
Okay.
researcher. They're currently not missing.
Oh,
So-
right. Well, I think they and I would be on the same level. We would bond.
Well, all three of you, very important for them. So, yes.
Right.
Okay.
Come along, everyone.
Thank
Follow
you.
me.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah,
As we sort of march out, and I'll just be like,
oh, Claire, I think it's actually that.
I
That
knew
way.
that. She's veering that way.
Yes. No. Do it to the center. And
Yep. Oh, right. Sorry.
and you begin to make your way towards the observatory in the center of the city. As you approach, you see the buildings seem to sort of be arranged almost in a spiral. And you imagine that if you were looking at it from above, it would be almost a spiral galaxy kind of visual. And I think as we get to that point, we will take a little break. That's the exposition part of the NASA TTRPG done, everyone.
And
So
our characters are
hopefully-
just going to accept this at this point.
Yes,
because
you are.
We need to move on.
And
Got it down.
we're all just kind of like, I don't know what's going on. Let's just go.
We're going with it.
Yeah.
We're going with it.
I'll give a little behind the curtain here. The way the TTRPG, so the bit at the beginning with you all at NASA, in the TTRPG, in NASA's story, they actually want to start with you arriving through the portal, because you're not meant to create characters that work at NASA. You're meant to be yourselves and who find themselves in the body of things. But then there's like a link to you all working at NASA, and I was like, it basically didn't work narratively in my head, because I think you need to establish the people as real people before you Jumanji them. And anyway, that's my little.
If it wasn't an actual play and you weren't happy to establish it to anyone else, and we already played together, maybe that made more sense.
Maybe that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. Fine. For actual play purposes. Anyway, it's very fun. It's very silly.
I suppose it's a way of getting people in that don't play role-playing games so much as
Yeah,
well, and like you can play yourself.
Play yourself,
Yes,
and then suddenly you're like, I'm in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
This isn't too nerdy for us. Sorry, we have to add an extra level.
Yeah.
We have to add,
Yeah. I made it no.
we have to add internal NASA politics to this.
Yeah.
That's what this story needs. NASA, why didn't you make a game about NASA politics? Why didn't you make a game about HR and
Social
internships,
intrigue.
NASA? Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we will see you on the other side. And goodbye. Blast off. Hello, we're back. Well, hello, chat. So, jumping straight back into it, you fairly easily find the observatory. It is in the center of the city. You realize you've arrived, in fact, you see signs, we'll say, that say you have arrived in what is known as Outer Alderstrom, which is lower down, sort of a sunken part of the city. And in the center, there is Inner Alderstrom, which is rising out of the city. There is this sort of, not like hill with a massive load of buildings and a spiral staircase up, and it's all these spiraling buildings that lead into the center, and you can just see the dome of what looks like a giant telescope in the center of this spiral building. As you make your way up, you catch snippets throughout the town and the city of conversations of people discussing their lives and, you know, tasks to be done, people talking about, you know, going down to the river to wash their clothes, getting mead, and there's a lot of things, and you're like, that they seem to have all this very advanced technology, but very sort of with the lower ground, with the people of the city, they seem to be living almost in the dark ages. And you look up in the sky, and it's daytime while you're here. You can't see a sun. It's just everywhere is very bright. And you look around, and as you look, as you get higher up on the hill and you look out into the distance, you sort of see an area where suddenly it just plunges into darkness. Quite far away, maybe a couple of miles from the top of the hill. And you literally can't see. It's pitch black looking past there. It's almost like there's this bubble of light surrounding the city. And you hear people chatting, and you hear someone saying, "Oh, I don't know about those ruins nearby. I think apparently something's taken up residence in the city." And you just hear that. That's all you hear. I
love it. I love it so much.
A lot of people talking about the missing researchers. The researchers, people are really worried about it. As you get to the observatory, you are there's a sort of a little receptionist who points you to the central building, and they say, "Oh, this is the head researcher's secretary," and you see a little gnome sat on a chair just with a typewriter in front of them. Goes, "Yes, hello, hi,
Hi.
hello."
We're here to see the researcher.
The head
Is-
researcher.
Yeah.
Morgan.
Who sent you?
Terrifying person.
The fry.
Val-
Valeria.
It sounds like it's trying to say failwin and failing.
Yeah.
Failing.
That's the
one. Right, did she give you anything?
I've got a letter
Oh, that would be useful.
right here.
Yeah, great, lovely. Hang
We're
on.
great at this. We're so good at this.
Cool. They sort of read the letter and look at the three of you and go, "Oh, okay, just sorry, hold on, 1 second," and they scurry off into a back room, and you're sort of left in sort of this stone office or like hallway, not office, hallway. You
Probably just gotta go check the records or something.
Yeah, I bet there's like loads of post-it notes and stuff. You know, they wouldn't be going to the guard or anything, you know.
Do you think we file things on post-it notes?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there, and there are lots of them.
I wanted to
No.
talk to you about that actually,
Right.
Sasha, because we're going to need some more post-it notes because we are getting through them at a remarkable rate. I don't quite
okay,
know,
that's
but
actually
some of my
that's
lab
not my
assistants are very.
not
So if
my
you could just
area.
sort that
need
out.
to
Thank you,
speak to
Sasha.
finance. It's really not HR.
After a few minutes, the little assistant, the secretary, comes back and goes, "Yes, if you would like to follow me," and you are taken through a library that is maybe 10 meters high in the walls and just stacked with books, just shelves and shelves. It has that proper old book musty smell. It's delicious. You see, you get taken right to the back, and you see a long-haired human climbing a ladder, getting a book down, and the assistant just goes, Morgan, And the researcher goes, oh, yeah, yes, no, I'm coming. And sort of slides down the ladder and drops to their feet. He goes, yeah, sort of adjusts their glasses, and they have this sort of long red hair and these big round glasses on their face. And they go, yes, hello, yes, I'm Morgan Sherry.
Oh, lovely to meet you. I'm Sasha.
Hello,
This
Sasha.
is Tim.
Hello, Tim.
And I'm Claire.
Hello,
Dr.
Claire.
Balding.
We are from NASA,
Dr. Balding.
not
You're-
NASA.
You are the Earthlings.
NASA.
You
We are from Earth.
Yes. Okay. Oh, please.
Take
No,
me
come with
back.
me. Come with me.
Yeah, all right.
And sort of almost skips to a door at the back and gets out a big key and unlocks it. And you enter into an office, and it basically looks like an extension of this library. There are books crowding the shelves. Every wall, every surface in the room is just covered with books. There are sketches and diagrams of various things. And as you approach, it's fine. It's just a strange thing. And yes, so they sort of sit on the end. Sorry, there's some weird paragraphs just in the middle of bits. They sort of sit on the edge of their desk and look at you and go, so, tell me how you got here. What happened?
So basically, so CLIPPY, it stands for
CLIPPY.
Computational Libraries Inside Particle Participants. Yes,
Particle
and that's how
Participants,
I
yes.
won the National Science Bee. And then
Science B? Tim,
meant-
is
Then
that
we
what
ha-
your resume said?
then we had panic attacks and ended up in space.
This is Tim Jacobs. He's really an up and coming star, the physicist of the future.
Right? Yes, I'm sure. Yes. You're in the notes.
Yep. Wrong notes, but it's fine. We'll sort that out later. That's actually not what they were asking, Tim. Asking how we got here in the first place. And to be honest, we don't really know. We just kind of woke up here.
Right. We're really sorry about, sort of just pulling you from the world. We weren't
Kidnapping us,
It
yes.
wasn't really kidnapping. We didn't really feel like there was a choice. Because we wanted to get you Hubble back. You see.
That's still kidnapping,
Well, yes, but your timeline was in
regardless of
ruins.
motive.
Wait, so Hubble
Kidnapping
is
with a
the
purpose.
Hubble is the free telescope you have for us,
Yes,
right?
the Hubble Space Telescope. Yes,
Free
it's your
telescope.
telescope. You keep
In
calling it
space. Is it on the moon or just
No, it
floating in
told you.
space?
no, it orbits the Earth.
That's better than the moon. That's such a
telescope?
good idea. A telescope,
Like-
but
This big?
A
This
bit bigger. No, a bit
We-
bigger than that.
We'll
It's
need a
about the
case to
size of
put
a
it
school
in.
bus on your world. That's what's written in the notes. I don't know what a school bus is, but that's what it
The
says.
size of a school bus?
Yes.
like
quite
Miss
large.
Frizzle.
I
That's
don't
a
know
magic school
who's
bus.
Miss Frizzle.
I did American cartoons. I watch.
Oh my.
Right. It's just your timelines, we think, a little bit in trouble, and we would like to apologize and get it back to the way it was.
we too would like our free telescope and to be returned to our homes unharmed.
Look, yeah, time's complicated, so yes, we should be able to do that. So
Should?
oh, sorry, I didn't get you any tea. Would you like a tea? You like tea, right? I've heard tea. And you see they sort of run off and they start boiling a kettle on a little stove. They move some books
Ooh.
away from it.
You
Now-
have any coffee?
I don't know
I
what that... Coffee? No, sounds
Okay,
lovely.
never mind.
They have a kettle. Look, this is Europe. They have kettles in Europe.
Oh, you're right. And they like tea in Europe.
Like tea and kettles.
Okay.
So brings some like peppermint tea over and sort of goes, here
Ew.
you go. Has taken
This
the bag
isn't-
out
Thank
though,
you.
so it's
This
not-
isn't this isn't tea.
Is this not like they have in Italy, Tim?
No.
Italy tea.
Don't
And
they famously drink coffee in Italy?
I don't know what that is.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, so Eirik, who was, one of the main researchers who was looking at Hubble, he was mortified when it went missing in your timeline. I mean, really a terrible loss for your world. He thought it might be his fault, but I I no longer think that's the case. You see, he suspected it ended up somewhere on our world, which is why he sent for you all. I'm sorry it was such a shock, but you know the telescope so well, we thought you might be able to find it. If it was our fault,
Right.
we apologise. We want to see this spectacular invention return to where it belongs. It has been a great
Okay.
benefit to both of our worlds, and we would never rob yours of that.
Yes. So
Accidental theft,
about
we
that,
understand.
it's been erased from our timeline, so
Yes.
we don't know anything about it.
Oh,
Could probably figure it out. Tim could figure
Right.
it out. Just if there's an instruction
I-
manual or something, we
I-
would probably.
Maybe you should figure it out, Claire. I think
I mean-
this would be a fantastic showcase of your mentoring skills.
It would. Thank you, Ms. O'Brien.
I have information on what we were studying Hubble for, so maybe just 1 second. And they start rummaging through some papers, and then they pull out a few sheets and they go, right, here we are. The researchers have been connecting with another world across the plains recently. I'm not certain. It's a very powerful and useful telescope from your world, or at least a version of the one you know, and it makes some rather impressive observations. There we go. Not everything applies, of course, being different, bits of the universe to where we are, but there are some things that can be rather helpful. Actually, it may be better to show you the researcher's office. He has quite a lot of information in there. Should we go to another room? I think that would be useful. Let's go to another room. Follow me, everyone.
Yes.
And the head researcher, Morgan, leads you through a series of stone hallways, some busy with people looking at exhibits, others are much quieter, and then here we are. A great deal of
Can I
information in
pay
here.
attention to some of the books on the shelves? I just want to see what
Yeah.
kind of books there are and if they're about space or if they're about this magic thing that we keep hearing about.
Make an investigation check for me.
Ooh. Investigation, that's a 9.
A 9. You keep getting distracted by what sounds like psychology books and HR manuals. And there are actually quite a lot of. There's actually one called Mediating Conflict. And you almost recognize it. It looks very similar to one that you have on your shelf back at NASA. You see some stuff around space and sort of looking into the wonders of the universe is one of them. And there's a big section you walk past on something called the breaking, with a lot of books. And I will give you another thing for free. There is another shelf called Artificial Sun Maintenance.
Ooh. Oh, that was a question I had earlier that I forgot. When you were mentioning about the sun, are there shadows? Does there just no shadows, or what direction would they be?
That's such a good question.
That's a really good
You're so
question.
smart. Oh, I love it.
You know how when if you're on a stage and there are lights
And there's,
pointing at you from all,
four.
and so you can see shadows going out in different directions. That's kind of the way the shadows in this place seem to be falling
All
That's
the
cool.
time.
all the time. Also,
That's
as
a
long
lot
as
of
you've been
shadows.
here. Right, in here we go, and lead you into another office. Now, obviously, there's a lot of information in here, some obvious and some not so. He was a tricksy one, and they open this wooden doorway, and beyond the doorway is a well-lit room with lamps scattered around it and a large window behind the desk. A heavy velvet-looking curtain hanging beside it. Large wooden bookshelves, all packed with books and loose papers. Imagine books everywhere. But the desk is largely cleared off. And the head researcher walks over to the desk and activates a projection with a flare of arcane energy from their hand. The researchers had been studying how the energy of the vacuum may be the cause behind the quickening expansion of the universe, and that's why he'd been connecting with the Earth, in the hopes that you maybe knew more than we do. He thought that may also shed some light on why our magic doesn't always go exactly as we would intend. This energy, you see, it isn't always the most stable to tap into. And he thought that by looking at this particular phenomenon, globular clusters, he may be able to pick up some information. And now, if you look and you see suddenly in front of you projected is this whirling mass of stars, what we would call a globular cluster. So a lot of galaxies sort of all centered around a point. This particular projection has been altered in some way. The colouring appears different from when I last saw it. That's interesting. I think it was more red, or was it blue? Oh, this thing changes all the time. It's hard to keep track. Anyway, at any rate, there's an adjustment button here, a sort of round knob thing. It goes, just to give it a twist and it'll turn either way. And if you want to play with that, it might help you with your research. I don't know.
Grabs it.
Presumably,
Doesn't
this
turn
is
it,
like
just
a
grabs.
clearer image than we would have seen from our own world, or
this looks very similar to an image that, clearer than any of you have ever seen. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
your character. Yes, but it would be what we would know as one of Hubble's globular cluster images.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Wow. And wait, they got this from this space telescope?
Yes, well, you see, Hubble observes different wavelengths of light, and those wavelengths can tell things about a different cosmic object, you see. So its age, and so, for example, blue light means that an object is hotter and younger, while red means it's cooler and therefore older. If the players ask, no, that's literally in a quotation, if the players ask to do something. Anyway, don't worry about that.
So Tim's grabbed this thing as soon as you said you can play with it, and is essentially slowly starting to turn it. Like, when you go to a friend's house and you ask them to, like, using their shower, you don't know how their shower works.
Yes.
And so you're like doing it, sort of like, oh, let me check. So I don't get. He's doing that with it. He's like, turn it to the right, left, right. What happens here? What's happened to the projection?
Turn it. When you turn it one way, it shifts very blue, and when you turn it the other way, it shifts very red, and the image's colouring just sort of flickers in and out. And I need everyone to make a perception check for me.
Ooh.
Another 9.
9.
18.
Pretty colours.
Oh, I'm good at perception.
6.
We're level 7. This is great.
Tim, knob, really fun. Really fun, goes both ways. Makes a cool noise. It kind of goes like... Sasha, pretty colours. You remember some stuff about red and blue shift, and you're just sort of thinking back to when you were at university. You're like, I do remember some stuff like that. Dr. Balding, as you look at the shift between the red and the blue shift, it's clearer than you've ever been able to see the universe. I mean, this is stunning images. You notice a message seemingly written in the stars.
What?
As it goes into a bluer colour, it says Hubble found. And on the red, it says go to Moksana. That's Mokhsana. And as you shift between, you see some of the stars get fainter, some even disappear.
I shall point this out to everyone very loudly and enthusiastically.
Wait,
If we were on Earth, I'd get a Nobel Prize for this. Unless someone got in my way.
Really not sure that you would for that, but
Well, I should.
the stars don't just make patterns, and well, they do, but they don't mean anything. What is this? This is so weird.
I don't know. This was sort of Iric's project. I don't know whether he was trying to... Maybe he was trying to leave a message if he knew he was in danger.
Has he gone to Moksana?
Maybe that's where he's been kidnapped to.
I don't know. I'm afraid I don't know. And also, to answer your earlier question, because I've just remembered, and I think I didn't know at the time, they were studying Earth because Earth is very similar to what Exlaris once was before we were before we were made into a rogue planet. We used to be a life-sustaining planet around an ordinary star's habitable zone, and you humans from Earth, you have a curiosity about the universe that has helped provide the people of Exlaris with a different perspective than their own, giving them more context to the cosmos. And, in many ways, studying Earth was a study of what Exlaris could have been.
You never think to, could you get in touch, like communicate?
Like, tell us.
Oh, I wasn't really. I'm only the head researcher because the other 4 have gone.
Oh, well.
Yes, the default approach. I like it.
Right.
Well, I'm sure you would have deserved the promotion.
Oh, I
You know,
don't.
as long as people weren't standing in your
Oh
way,
my.
scuppering your chances, meddling
Oh,
behind
can
the
you
scenes with their
just-
little HR
Can
ways.
you just leave it? Can you just leave it? Okay?
What do you?
It's not relevant right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ms. O'Brien. I'm just complimenting this fine researcher on their obvious skills that maybe not
Oh.
everyone can see.
Thank
So
you.
while all this is happening, Tim is looking around to see whatever this reality's version of post-it notes is.
Okay.
And
what else they can find? Make an investigation
Yeah.
check. Yeah.
Do you know post-it notes were invented by
23.
accident?
Oh, what? Sorry, they were invented by accident.
Yeah, someone was just trying to make a new type of glue and they accidentally made a post-it note and went, oh, that's quite useful.
That's
there you go.
amazing. Perfect.
Made on accident, stolen on purpose. That's
Yes.
a 23.
23. Okay, I'm going to read a lot of things out at you now. You find some notes on the energy of the vacuum, which I have already provided you with. That was one of the notes that we sent earlier. You find that page of notes. You find a model of the Hubble Space Telescope, a sort of little mini version, and it's sort of labeled as Hubble Space Telescope. And Tim, as you're doing this, as you're looking around, you're seeing things in a different way. Like, you are seeing things that are useful and how you could use this thing. You sort of look at this model and you go, oh, interesting, it's sort of held together with this mechanism, and you've clearly used a ball joint here to keep it...
This is all done through his little lens eye. He's like, oh, God, this is amazing.
Right, and you feel like this. You look at the Hubble telescope and you realise it's created in... This model has been put together in parts. So it would be easy to take it apart and sort of look at the various components of the telescope. And as you sort of start playing with it, Morgan turns and goes, oh, actually, that's very interesting, because that's actually, we believe, how your telescope was built in parts in space.
Tim just turns it. Just
Or at least
completely.
it can be fixed up in space, so they could take a bit off and then fix it very easily.
So Tim has just gone, oh, like this. Boom. Taking it apart.
Oh,
Whoa.
yes. Well, yes. Are you able to rebuild that? Sorry.
Okay, cool. Starts just putting things back. You know, like when you break someone's Lego kit apart and you're like, okay, I remember how to put this back together. Just does that slowly.
Have you got a particular check of like tools or something like that on your character sheet? I'm assuming you have something along those lines.
Like Tinker's tools or something?
Tinker's tools, yeah.
I do have Tinker's tools.
Yeah, make me a Tinker's check. You'll have proficiency with it, so add your proficiency bonus.
Oh, Christ.
In fact, give me dexterity plus your proficiency.
Cool. It'll be that'll be a 20.
Yeah, you perfectly put this back together. In fact, it looks like it's maybe more accurate than it was, and you've never seen the Hubble Space Telescope, but you're pretty sure this is the optimum configuration for how this telescope goes together.
Remember, at the bar, I touched that sticky. The thing is now sticky from the WKD, whatever I touched at the bar.
Yeah.
That sticky thing. So it's quite sticky now.
Great, lovely. And the other thing you find is a book on historical Earth astronomers and physicists, including, and the 3 names that sort of are marked in the book are Nancy Grace Roman, Lyman Spitzer, and Edwin Hubble. If you would like to read any of them, I can do my I'm a book voice.
Do you like the I'm a book voice?
Edwin Hubble. That's the guy we talk about.
As you read it, you hear. In fact, let's add a little thing here. As you open the book, a little bit of magic happens, and the book audiobooks for you. Dr. Edwin Hubble was the first to confirm the existence of other galaxies beyond the Milky Way, and through his observations created the classification system still used today. Hubble not only reimagined our very place in the universe, but also observed that stars were displaced at the red end of the spectrum, indicating universal expansion. There you go. You get a little bit of Earth history.
So presumably all of that is still true for our sort of reality. It's just the telescope that's gone. So
Is it really?
Edwin Hubble still exists.
Edwin Hubble still exists, but I think... Oh, that's a really good question. Because Hubble
far as I
didn't
know, they
make
just
the
named it
space-
after
They
him.
named it after
Yeah,
him.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
so much more.
Yes, so
Easier
that
to
yes,
keep
that's right.
work.
Yes, that they're not Hubble. They're not the space telescope discoveries. They are. Hubble.
They didn't kidnap
Yeah.
Mr. Hubble.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Um.
Nice. Oh, does that mean that the Spitzer telescope doesn't exist either? I don't know as much about that one.
Spitzer does exist.
No.
Everything but Hubble. is
Spitzer does
there.
exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What is Spitzer? What does that one do?
I don't know. I just know
Or
that
is
it
it gone?
exists.
You
Don't
could
ask
have
us
made something up,
questions.
would not know.
Chat. You've got Google. Right. So anyway, I don't really know.
Okay, so this thing works. I took it apart, put it back together. If I can do it here,
Yeah, how
people doing in space, I just did it. It just
how do you know how to do that? Tim?
Tim is a genius. He really is up and coming. He's got a
No.
lot of experience with these kind of things. He's got the
Yeah,
analytical
with
skills. He's got
McDonald's
Python,
fryers.
he's got MATLAB. He's got collaborative team experience. You don't need to worry about Tim.
Right. I'm not
Yeah.
worrying about Tim.
Me and
Um,
Tim just share a look like.
the eye, the lens in his eye starts steaming up. Just
Oh, are you all right? Would you like another cup of tea?
yes, please. I love this
Okay,
tea.
I'll go get. And Morgan leaves the room to go and
That
make
sounds
another
like
cup of tea.
a really good idea.
You know when you get like sweat going down your back and you can't do anything about it. It's
Mm.
just this is your life now. Okay, cool.
Um,
So
So Moxana, was it?
We have to go there. We have to get this telescope because look at this. Look at this imagery. Look how sharp it is.
It's incredible.
I have been having trouble, as you know, Sasha, as you've mentioned, as you just keep getting in little digs to, with studying gravitational lensing effects through the atmosphere with all the distortions. This telescope, Nobel Prize. This 100% Nobel Prize for me. And Tim,
Wow.
who will be, by that point, like my research, like he'll be a postdoc by that point, I expect. By the time that I've got the Nobel Prize.
I don't doubt it.
Thank you, Sasha.
Well, yeah, you're very clever. It makes
Oh.
sense.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I mean, thank you for. I'm glad. It's nice that you.
Yeah.
I
mean-
I thought that. Yeah, you're also good. You're at your HR.
I see.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, the little
Yeah.
the secretary comes in and she goes, "Oh, hello. Sorry, I realised you're going to find the researchers, right?
We are going to rescue them from having been kidnapped. I think.
Right. It's
Is
just
that right, Tim?
yes, we're going to
Irik's
go do
always
that
been-
right now.
Irik's always been very nice to me, and I would like to see him again.
We should preferentially rescue
Oh
him.
no, I think
over the others.
all of them. I've got a bit of a crush on Irik.
But if we had to choose,
Yeah, if you had to choose, pick Irik. I didn't say that though. That was bad. And I also wondered if it might be important about the green elf that I saw.
that
Oh.
sounds
Green
very
elf?
important. Tell us more.
I said it to Morgan, and then they sort of didn't. They were like, "Oh, I'm sure that's nothing," and I just thought it was a bit weird. And Morgan's struggling with the tea, I think. And they're not sure how much. No, they're in another room. They're not here. But so put it down, Tim. I don't know where you got that from. And how did you make a teapot? Oh my god! And and then
Bertrand Russell did it.
anyway, yeah. So there was this figure outside the. They were sort of around the observatory around the time that everyone was disappearing, and I'm pretty sure I saw them talking to Irik, and I was a bit jealous.
That seems overly possessive. of you.
I don't know. I didn't like the way that they were looking at him.
Like,
I wasn't going to do anything. I just thought me and Eirik.
Eirik was flirting with a green elf, and
no, I don't think he was. No, I didn't say flirting. You think that? You've said.
You've
do you think he was
implied
flirting?
flirting.
Do you think
Well,
Eirik would flirt with the green elf?
Maybe the green elf was
We
flirting with
don't
him.
know, Eirik.
Yeah, okay.
Good point. Sasha makes a good point.
Yeah. Right. It's just they've been a bit weird. I just thought they were a bit weird.
What? Yeah, but is that because were they actually weird, or was it the flirting?
Both. Can it be both?
Okay. We should not dismiss this observation.
We thought it might be
Sometimes-
one of the other cities. You see, trying to like get sneak secrets.
like Moxwana.
No,
that a city?
Moxan. No, well, it used to be. It used to be the capital, but then during the breaking, it all sort of descended into chaos, and it was all ruined and ransacked, and now Alderstron is the capital. It was a brilliant city, but it got left behind, so now it's just in darkness.
So when you said other cities might have kidnapped, then
There are
not.
like some cities around the world, but they're all in like these pockets.
Oh. How do you get between them? You have like little
We have
bubbles.
teleportation circles.
Teleportation circles.
It's magic.
The circle is a key part of the
Yes.
wizardry.
Magic. Right.
I think it's just normally
to be
circles. I don't really
circular.
know why.
Okay, some sort
you-
of focusing.
Someone did a pentagon one once, and everyone hated that for some unknown reason. It's weird.
Oh.
So when you go into these circles,
Yeah,
you come out the other side.
you sort of go into a circle, and then you just sort of step out the circle, and you're in a different place.
like
But are you-
Moxwana.
But are
no,
you
not
the
Moxana,
same?
because there's nothing in Moxana now. It's dead.
But are you really the same you? Because if you think about it, when you look at it in depth, the idea that you're going from one place and you'd be a certain number of atoms, and then you get to the other side, you're another thing of atoms.
Are they
Like,
the
where
same
does life-
atoms?
Where does life truly begin when you think about it? Because if we're a certain number of organs put together, and
Well,
this-
you teleported here.
We died. R.I.P. us.
Do you think your atoms are the same as the atoms you had back on Earth?
I don't.
You
know.
look down at your bodies and go.
I'm gonna go with no.
Mm. Right. Anyway, I think Morgan's coming back, so I better go. Anyway, bye. And sort of scurries out the room. Morgan comes
Baku.
back. I
Sasha's
made
just
tea.
eyeing Tim suspiciously at this
Wait a
point.
sec. Guys, do you think that there's like an owl person in my body hanging out with Becky and Dave right now? Is
Oh,
that what's
no.
happening? Consciousness transfer
Transference?
exchange? Like, are they?
Oh no!
My research. What if they mess up my research?
It's just a bull person in
Recycling
HR.
system.
Well, I hope Becky and Dave like can keep things together. There's a lot of sensitive stuff there.
Who knows?
Well, we better get back as soon as possible then.
We can.
and-
Oh my god, this has suddenly become much more urgent.
so
Okay.
Morgan comes back in.
Space telescope.
Right. So what do you think you're going to do?
We are going to teleport to Moxana.
Oh, you
And
can't teleport to
rescue-
Moxana.
Do that,
It
it's
is
ruined.
ruins.
We are going to walk
It is
to
not far.
Moxana and find Eirik or a green elf.
Oh,
We will flirt with them in order to gain access to the prisoners, who we will then rescue.
you've been talking to my secretary.
We think the flirting is key to unlocking this whole
really
There's
thing.
no
don't think the
preferential-
flirting is
She-
key.
She thinks the flirting is key.
I'm
The
sure
flirting,
she
we,
does.
for the record.
And if it comes down to it, we're meant to kill the others and
Oh.
rescue him alive.
No, Tim, no.
No. I fully agree here with Sasha. Please don't kill any of them unless
But
they
if we
try and
had
kill
to
you. I guess
choose-
you know if you had to choose, if you have to kill one of them, let me just. Sorry, I've forgotten all their names.
But we don't need you to tell us who to
No,
kill.
but
We'll
you
use
should,
our
you should know
judgment
who
in
you're
the
looking
scenario.
for. You should know their names, really, and I do know
Okay.
their names. And their
When
names.
you tell us their names, is it going to be in order of importance?
Probably. So, number
Oh.
1, Eirik Hazen. Eirik, Eirik Hazen. Hazn. Next, Ziania Hesk. She's the youngest one and sort of Irik's right hand. Like, they're quite
Like
close.
protege,
Yes.
Postdoc.
like
yeah.
mentee.
Kind of, yes.
Intern.
Intern might be a better word for it.
Look at
really.
Tim, like...
Then there's Telton Verdien. They're a bit older. She's been a researcher most of her life, and she sort of has a little bit of has some zany ideas, but we like her. She's fun. And then Cav Grenner, very gentle, very lovely, sort of the mediator of the group, I would say.
Okay.
He is an orc, just in case that's shocking to any of you.
I'm an owl. Is
All
that
of this is
shocking?
shocking
I
to
don't
us.
know. Yeah.
Anyway, they're all their names. You've got them now. That's useful.
We've definitely remembered those. Yep.
Yes.
Yep,
Good. I
definitely.
hope you all
100%.
wrote them down.
We got it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure I can give
Definitely,
you some
definitely written down.
text before
Yep.
you leave for your adventure. Anyway, but yes, you should be, if you are going to go to Moxana, you should be very careful. Very few travel on foot through the dark. There are some who have gone in and never returned.
Oh no! Wait, there's no atmosphere there.
Wait.
No, well, no,
Or
no, there's
light.
no atmosphere. Fine, because we've got a shield around the planet. The
Oh,
magical shield
shields around
protects
the
the
planet.
planet.
Okay.
I don't know quite how it works, but
Okay.
if you came from Failwind, she was one of the people who created it. Back in the day.
She didn't know how it worked either, though.
Yes. Well, magic here is a little. Ooh, it's one of the reasons they were just studying Earth. They thought your, looking into dark energy might help us understand how our magic works because you have more information on that. But you know what? I think we should go to another room. I've got something that might help you, but it is in another room.
Why?
Follow me.
Oh, okay.
Starts.
How many rooms does this place have?
Lots of
Why don't they
rooms.
put all of their information in one room.
It would be useful if they did, but they didn't. Anyway, this is a relatively small room down a quiet hallway, but still within the same building, apparently. As you enter, there are 3 desks, each pushed against a different wall and holding what looks to be what you would call a computer. The large square screen connects to a box underneath the desk. And these are very similar looking to old computers on Earth, most resembling something from maybe the 1960s. But they are glowing with this almost like purple magical energy. Morgan, again, uses a spell to activate a projection in the middle of the room. This particular technology may help. It uses something called gravitational lensing to get a better look at things around us. We usually use it to look at other stars and planets. Sorry, boring. Gravitational lensing. Anyone?
Boring. Boring. It is not boring, is it, Tim?
Very interesting
Right.
lenses. I have a lens.
Gravitational lensing is what's going to get me the Nobel Prize, assuming that the free telescope does not get. I'm going to get multiple Nobel Prizes. And actually, I think the space telescope combined with the gravitational lensing research is probably the supreme Nobel Prize.
Love to hear your thoughts on what gravitational lensing is.
Would you?
I would.
Well, I can tell you all about gravitational
Well,
lensing.
why
because I
don't
am
you
very
do
smart.
that?
Everyone listen to me. Okay, now listen. Now, space, time, you think they're different? They're not different. They're all the same. Space time, it's wibbly, it's wobbly. You think you've got gravity?
tiny,
It's
it's
like it's bending. Space time, you might think like over there, that's in a straight line. Well, it's not because there's gravity in the way. And if gravity is bending the space time, then it's bending the light. Because where does light travel through? What does light travel through, Tim?
Space.
Space. And what's space doing? Bending.
Right, so that's, yes. We usually use it to
big
look
thing.
at other stars and planets, but we found a way of turning it to our own world as well. So gravity, well, you've explained all of that, so I don't need to say any of those bits. So our magic allows us to sort of simulate the effect of gravitational lensing, but on a much smaller scale on the planet. So, for example, if I do this, there you go. You can now see the woods where Moxana is the other side of, even though we're in the building. Isn't that clever?
So are you creating something very heavy that the light is like bending around?
Yeah, it's like a magic field that is
A
very heavy and the
magic
light comes round.
gravity well of magic.
Exactly.
Creating a gravitational field.
I guess, with the dark energy magic. We don't really know how it works.
There's yet more Nobel Prizes. Tim, remember all of this, okay?
We have a thing called the
The fact
Loban
that-
Prize.
Oh, do you?
Mm.
Do you have to be from here to be eligible for that, or
I think
can
anyone who does their
fully-
research
Really?
here can
Interesting,
be
interesting.
eligible
Okay,
for it.
okay, interesting. Just just curious. Just are there many fellowships, like promotions going here? Is this a good
Oh,
place
well,
for
currently
career
we've got 4
advancement, or-
very free slots, but, obviously we're hoping to
Yeah.
get them back.
Yeah, that
Um,
would be. I would never sabotage someone else's career.
Life.
Not like some people. So yeah, we'll get your researchers back.
I'm sensing a lot of bad energy.
Is that like dark energy?
No,
Oh, yeah,
just
really?
vibes from
Really?
you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Vibes.
yeah. From
That,
her,
that's
yes.
another technical term, I'm
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
No.
Dark
Tim.
vibes.
Tim's head just like, shh, don't talk about this. I've learned not to talk about it. Shh.
Right.
Well, it doesn't say it,
understood.
but
Yeah, gives the look and is like, I understand entirely. Right, so you see, right, so they're the ruins. So you can see, and what you look at is you can see a massive forest, and the other
Terrifying.
side of the forest are what looks like used to be it's very dark, but the sort of the glow from the city is you can just make out the shadows of these huge buildings, but they are crumbled and fully like torn down. And so you go, that's Moxana, or what's left of it.
Well, that looks very scary.
We think, well, if that's where you think they might be, or the
Well,
telescope.
even
might
if they're
be.
not there, something's there.
we should
That's-
go. I mean, we have to go. I mean, there are no post-it notes here, so maybe there'll be some there. Let's go.
Yes,
We should go.
It's the only clue we have.
Yeah.
right. So obviously, so this is my gravitational lens. I use all these fun bits of equipment, but we call them pumpupas. And anyway, but I've got a small one.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Pompupas. Pompupas? Anyway,
Sure.
but I've been working on a device that can have the same effect but is smaller, and you can carry it around with you, you see. But I think at the moment it's only got enough for one use. But here you go. If you ever need to sort of find the way, you could try this. Maybe it will help. And they pull out this sort of small
Thank you.
device and hand it to you. And sort of off camera, this will reveal traps or a route along your path.
Oh,
But yes, there is only enough energy in that, I think, for one usage. So do use it wisely.
okay.
The other thing, I've been saving this, but I think if you're going to find my friends and colleagues, then you should have it. And they pull out a bottle that has this swirling red liquid that almost glistens. If any of you get injured, this might help. And
Oh,
just in
what,
case,
What does it
Yeah.
do?
it's a potion. It'll make you feel better. It's a greater healing potion for whoever is putting it on their character sheet.
Like paracetamol. Sorry,
Like paracetamol.
acetaminophen, as the Americans call it.
A what?
Acetaminophen.
Aspirin?
Aspirin.
I don't believe they're the same things.
No,
Into the
they're not
pouch.
the same thing.
Into the pouch.
And they also give you a map of the area, which I will send to you on Discord. Oh, maybe not right now because it's okay. No, I'll send that to you before next week. Right. Well, good luck, I guess.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
Please do. If you have any questions, I'm here now. So
I mostly just want to know how all this works, but clearly nobody understands
The
that, which is
magic
the bit that I
stuff.
find most confusing.
yes.
Yeah. I don't really get how you could build this stuff without understanding how it works in the first place, but
You just have a feeling sometimes, like, you know, on this place, I know that I can do magic. I studied very hard and I learnt, and now I can just do it. And people here just tend to have skills that are useful, you know? Do you feel like you have a skill that's useful?
I have mediation qualifications.
Sasha, as you think about what skills you might have that are useful, you think about your mediation qualifications and you just think it's just useless in this. It's useless here. And you start to feel this like feeling that you've not really felt for a really long time. Maybe since something happened with someone in this room, and you start to feel this anger boil up inside of you, and you push it down, but it's there and you can feel it there.
Yeah.
And Tim, as Morgan says the same thing, you sort of think, you know what? Actually, I was really good with that telescope, and you felt like innately connected to that and building things, and it just sort of sits in your brain as a thing that maybe you'd be good at. And Dr. Balding, you think and you go, well, this is stupid. I can't think of anything. And with that, you start to exit the observatory. Morgan sends you on your way with a map, and you head out into the darkness. And that is where we will end this session. But before, sorry, no, it's not. Stop it. No, wait. I forgot one key thing. You head out into the darkness, and you're going down a path towards the woods, and you hear movement. You hear a rustle, and you turn, and you see two figures off to the side. One very tall, one very short. And that is where we will end our session.
What colour were they? Was it a green
They're in
elf?
the dark, you can't tell.
Were they flirting with us from the distance?
Yes, that's what happened.
What,
Was there just a little wink,
like
you
a
know,
19, like a,
I'll tell you what,
like a
you sped through
1980s
that.
R&B music video.
That went a lot
we're
quicker than I
speedy
thought
and
it would.
efficient.
Maybe because I didn't read all the
Yeah.
exposition lines, but yeah, excellent. And I think we've announced it anyway, on sort of various places, but we'll be joined. Dr. Balding, Sasha, and Tim will be joined by two other characters next week, played by the OG RP Geeks, Ali and Simon. They're back. We're bringing the band all together, and
a
we're
mega
very excited.
sesh.
A bigger
It's gonna be
sesh.
great.
With 5 players. So yes, very looking forward to it. Do we want to have a quick chat about some of the science that was crammed into this NASA TTRPG?
I feel like I skipped on the finishing the explanation of gravitational lensing slightly. I got really excited about space time and then never quite got to the
Shall
gravitational.
I read what
you
what Morgan
explained
would have
it,
said?
but- Yeah.
Let me
go on
read
then.
the bit that didn't get said because you did it, and that was lovely. Where are we? Sorry, I've lost it. Hang on, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I think we just missed
So-
off like how it's used in
The
astronomy, and
lens
that was
part.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
The lensing part.
Yeah.
I feel
It's all
as
right.
though
Tim's got it.
don't know why I'm speaking like this anymore. Yeah, no, I feel as though and see. Isn't it one of those things where it's like, you know, you've got a big ball you've got a ball and you put the ball on like a blanket, and then because it dips in, I've seen Interstellar, right? And they use it to understand like the universe and stuff, and to look into the past. And is that
It's
roughly
Well,
right?
that's
using it
similar.
as a lens thing. So that's the how it works bit. But the point is that if you have a lens, like a lens that bends light, or a big heavy thing that bends light, you can see things that are the other side of that lens bigger, and
because
that
it's
you might not
bending
otherwise be able to
around.
see.
Yeah. So if you've got a galaxy, the gravity of that galaxy can bend the light from behind it around the galaxy, so you can see another galaxy in the lens bit around it, essentially, which you wouldn't normally be able to see because it's behind.
Exactly.
Oh, so like when you have cling film and the cling film is like quite opaque, and then you push your face up against it and it gets like a lot thinner and you can see through it.
I mean, I get no, but not really.
Not really. That's...
Honestly,
And sometimes, if the lens isn't focused, you can see multiple things of the thing because you
Mhm.
haven't focused it like together properly. So then you start seeing double.
yeah, someone with a lazy eye, that's like 90% of my lens
You're like,
thing.
that's all of it.
That's pretty much all of it. Can't use a microscope.
Well, yeah.
Oh no. What about
Thanks for the raid, Tom Astrosai. Appreciate it. Lovely to have you
hello,
here. We
Tom.
are talking
Hey!
about gravitational lensing. We've just finished the first part of the NASA TTRPG adventure, The Lost Universe, which should really be the Lost Telescope, but they went for the Lost Universe. And yes, they have. What I will say about it, like they've created this whole world, and there are all these other cities listed, which are sort of all specialized in a different part of physics and like stuff that NASA might cover. And I'm wondering if they're
that's
going
what that
to
was
do
about.
separate
Oh.
stories with other cities specializing in different things.
They're really setting up a universe, huh?
I think they are, yeah.
The NASA TTRPG extended universe.
Aw.
My background is not meant to look like the Aurora Borealis. I didn't see it,
like it.
so I thought I'd just make some lights do pretty
We're all
things.
bitter, so we're just
We're
going
all
to look
bitter
at
because none of us
Emily
saw it.
Bates' study wall
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
Oh, that
This is
reminds
good.
me. The pub at the beginning was supposed to be like the Horsehead Nebula, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, why is it
Oh.
red? That's
And
so
it was
weird.
really
And when you said Horsehead,
specifically
I was like,
described, and it
"Ah."
was like being described in a lot of
Yeah.
detail.
It
was
is
like, what is
wonderful
this?
the level
Ah.
of some stuff that is described and some stuff that
Yeah.
isn't, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like I really
Thank you for
do like it, and
putting
it's
that.
a fun story. I think it's a little convoluted. You know, if we're doing proper pros and cons of it, it's a little convoluted for what I think could
For a one
simply
shot.
be you have lost the telescope. Like I do genuinely think it could be we have your telescope. We're really sorry. Help us get it back to you. But
We have to go to Moxana and
Well, I don't think
find
that's-
the specifically named
But it's
people.
the reason I think they must be releasing more stuff is because they have created this like rogue planet world that has this shield around it that had a very exciting kind of, you know, the breaking, the black hole, you know, ripping the planet away, and had
There's a lot of
there's a
lore.
lot of there's a lot of
a lot of
lore,
lore.
and it's really cool lore. I really like the lore, but it doesn't really matter for this. Like other because the reason they were studying it was more the dark energy, and like Morgan says that bit where they mention that they were studying it because, you know, it's what Exlaris could have been if they hadn't been, you know, ripped away from their solar system. But I don't know, it doesn't it doesn't really come up.
We'll take it up. We'll take it up with NASA.
I've got some notes, NASA. If you'd like to bring me on board for the next one, I do have some notes. I think we can neaten it up.
I have some questions. I feel like the redshift blue shift thing got a bit confused with red light and blue light because like the redshift and blue shift you know, are frequencies of light that we observe that are either shifted towards the red or shifted towards the blue, whereas I thought having a knob where you make it more red and make it more blue kind of
Yeah, that's just like filtering out.
yeah, that's not the
different
same thing at
wavelengths,
all.
isn't
Like
it?
I thought that was
Yeah.
confusing.
I think it's meant to be the knob is going through time. I think that's actually what that's meant to be.
Oh.
I think.
I mean, that's what I got from it.
The projection is changing because the stars fade and go, so it's like you're seeing it in the past, you're seeing it in the future.
Oh,
So the red shift
okay.
is
Right.
when it's not a filter. It's getting
Yeah.
it's not because of the filter. It's because of the time that you're looking at it from.
That was terrifying. The fact that there are messages written in the stars.
Yeah, that's quite scary.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
cute. It's really scary.
Yep.
That's yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to tell you there's more about why they're there.
Extended universe.
It's a
Extended
puzzle,
universe.
guys.
There's going to be a part 2. They'll explain it in part 2. It's fine.
That's very much the kind of puzzle that like makes sense in an escape room in like real world.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a very
Yeah.
escape room puzzle.
Like
that
it would
they're
be very satisfying. If you turn the knob, you see the message.
Oh, we found it in the stars.
You know,
It's like-
it says Hubble found, and obviously then it says go to Moxana. So, you know, it's which one is older and, you know, which message was written first, I think was kind of the idea.
I can't miss that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I missed that.
Yeah,
It's all right, you can go and watch it back. But yeah, I think, you know, talking about the adventure itself, It's fun. Like, it's really fun. It's very silly. I would love to get my hands on it and sort of write it out and make it a little bit. If I'd have had time, I would have changed a lot of the text, and not even necessarily the like, this is how great Hubble is text at the beginning, but there's a lot of stuff that's in a lot of places that it would be better if it was in a different place, just from a running it point of view.
It's really fun doing a pre-written adventure, and I think it's quite good for people, if anyone wants to go and run it, for us to have like done the close to accurate version. So
This is I am reading most of the time. I am
that.
reading the words that are in front of me, which is, and sometimes I'm not. You might be able to work out where my insistence that we go to another room. All the rooms are in there, but there are so many rooms, and it's like, should we go? Oh, in this room there's this, and I was like, can they just be in one big office?
So many
I added
I
the
feel
bit
like
about
the
the fancying of Eirik. I added that in.
It feels like a
did
fire
you?
hazard.
Yes. That was really good. I really
all
liked
these
that.
rooms and books feel like a fire hazard. Like, and all this
Especially in the
magic
medieval settings.
being,
It feels a bit like they've like gone for like dungeon crawl, but it's not a dungeon crawl because you're just being taken by this one NPC around all the rooms.
It's a little railroady for my liking, but also, you know,
I like a bit of railroading.
a little bit of railroading is quite
Yeah.
nice. So, you know, I think
Especially for a short one.
yeah, exactly. And you know, we've got to get it wrapped up next week. So
We got to
exactly.
rescue Eirik.
I mean, the
hope he
real
has something.
question, the real question we have to ask and perhaps answer is: would Issa have done this better? Who knows?
Ooh, we should write to Issa and be like,
this is
hey,
a
do you want
question.
to work with us on a
We'll
on a
make a
TTRPG?
rival, and then there'll be rival space universe, rival
space
space
universes. I know.
Oh,
I'm a
what,
big
you-
fan of the lore of this. I will say I am a big fan of the lore they've created.
They'll go bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, what, you lost Hubble? Yeah, we lost the ISS and R1. Yeah, think
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, but can they agree to lose? Oh, I guess yeah, because Hubble's not just NASA, is it? There's other people that work on Hubble, so
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe we'll do one in the future and James Webb's gone and it's like, oh no, the really pretty pictures. Fun fact, I've actually got a Hubble Space Telescope calendar on my wall. My calendar this year is all old pictures from Hubble, and it's really nice.
Nice.
Did you buy that for
N49s.
yourself, or was that a present?
It was a present.
Yeah.
My mum got it for me. Because she knows I like space. I like space, me.
Good, isn't it?
I've never studied it. I don't really know it, but I just think it's pretty.
I thought that, Charmony, I thought that was you saying that you got it. Like, oh, did someone get that for you as a present?
Oh yeah, did someone buy that for you?
No, that's my passive aggressive character, not me.
Also, I like the chat immediately latched onto when I mentioned the black hole, and we're like, black holes. There's not a lot about black holes. That's all. That's the only mention of a black hole. I'm afraid. Very sad. I'll bring it up as many times as I possibly can. I promise.
Is there more redshift blue shift stuff?
No.
Oh, maybe we could have a small redshift blue shift chat. Chloe, you can tell us about redshift and blue shift, because I really like redshift and blue shift. I think it's really cool. And you mentioned expansion of the universe and everything.
Yeah, that was quite a big part of the like science document thing that you sent over as well. It's like this might come up. So yeah, I mean, it's where I got confused with the time thing, because I didn't realize it was time when we were talking about the wavelengths and stuff, because redshift would be something moving away from you, and then blue shift would be something moving towards you.
Yes.
It shifts the wavelength of the light.
Yeah, and they were talking very much about it being younger and older.
Yeah,
because of it being
which
further away.
Yeah,
is that
and I
in the
thought,
universe? Is that like?
So when you said that, I thought that you were referring to the color of stars, because blue stars are the young hot ones and red stars are the cold.
Yeah,
old
so did
ones.
I.
So they definitely
about
were
redshift at all.
No, but it is about. Oh no, that is right. I think. Oh God,
That's not.
hang
red
on.
and
Please
blue
hold.
shift.
If
That's just.
Yeah, I interpret
the
that as
colour.
not being the shift thing, as that just being like age of stars, and like whether they turn into red giants or
let me find.
well,
out.
you know, there's like this progression of like stars are born and then they get bigger and bigger and either explode or fizzle.
No, because I thought it was going to
really
be that
difficult.
But it is difficult.
Physics is so unnecessarily difficult. Like it's painfully. This is painfully difficult. I don't understand how.
Well, go
anyone
take it up with the
understands it.
universe.
Someone in chat mentioned the siren thing as the sort of classic example of where we hear redshift and blue shift in every day. Is that when a siren is coming towards you, it sounds
The
higher.
Doppler effect.
The Doppler effect.
And then it kind of goes lower. Or I can guess that just sort of any sort of engine, like the pitch seems to change. It goes zzzz as it goes past you, which is always a bit funky with light, because it's not really a wave or a particle, but like I like
but it works
the
the same thing with
idea
the waves coming closer together when they're coming towards you and then being stretched out as it's moving away from you.
It's kind of like if something was emitting beeps as it was traveling towards you, the beeps would be catching up with the beeps in front, so they're all getting squidged together. And if you imagine that as a wave, then that's a higher frequency, right? So
I think
type
as
of
much
wave.
as much as I rag on physics, I think because it's so difficult to like perhaps explain in sort of fundamentals, I really love that physics and physicists and stuff and people explaining physics, they have the coolest analogies, because like with biology and stuff you can just point at things. But here it's just
It's a
like,
fish,
okay, so
there
imagine
is.
yeah, pretty much. But like, oh hey, imagine this siren walking across. Oh, this expanding balloon thing I saw at chat. I was like, this is all I always love these sorts of things. So like big up NASA trying to get people actually really into physics using, even though it seems sort of convoluted, the equivalent of a medieval OHP. Like,
it
I think
makes
it's
me
quite
want
cool.
to know about redshift and blueshift, right? It makes me want to understand it. So I think, having read I've just flipped through the whole adventure and just control left on redshift. That is the only place that you have any form of like red, blue light. And it's weird because actually they don't mention redshift, blueshift in the bit where they're describing the puzzle. They're talking about, it was redder, it was bluer. And they are talking about things in older or younger. But it definitely is meant to be a looking through time puzzle. But they don't actually ever explain the redshift, blueshift bit, apart from in the appendix where they're like,
the only reason that's relevant
info
to time is because the expansion of the universe might be changing pace, or because things closer to us. So that and I presume that's how. I don't know if this is right. That one of the reasons why we know that our universe is expanding is because if you look at a really distant star.
Yeah, the older ones, like the furthest ones, have the biggest redshift.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are moving the like fastest away, showing that it has to be like expanding.
Yeah.
So that's probably what they were referring to. Yeah.
Anyway, answers on a postcard in the comments. Let us know what you think is happening with the redshift, blueshift part of the NASA TTRPG. That's what I took it to mean, but also I'm now reading it because they do mention it being like hotter and younger, but then I don't understand what the point of that puzzle would be if it's not to show through time, if that makes sense. Anyway,
still doesn't quite sit right in my brain, but I can't quite.
It didn't sit right in my brain when I read it, but I was like, you know what? I just don't understand this well enough, so I'm just going to say what they say because it's NASA. But maybe you should question even NASA, everyone. Maybe they're lying to you all the time.
That has big flat Earth energy.
No, big flat Earth energy. Imagine if the conclusion for this was and also by the way, your Earth is flat.
Your Earth is flat. Laters, nerds.
Bye.
Teleport back into our body.
Out. Bye.
That would be funny. That would be very funny. Chaotic Brain Person's right. That's why we can see further into the past with James Webb Space Telescope, because it can see the longer wavelength. So that's why they're saying looking further into the past than ever before. It's because it detects that.
And to answer the stuff about frequency in the chat as well, it's like wavelength and frequency are intrinsically related. They're like the inverse of each other. So the higher your frequency, the longer your wavelength. So if you're changing the wavelength, then you're changing the frequency, and that's why. And Tom Asher right, pitch is frequency, so that's why you hear the sounds. Yeah. It's like hearing the change in frequency.
Pitch is like how we hear it, right? Pitch is how we describe how we're hearing sound.
Exactly.
Frequency/wavelength.
Yeah.
This is fun. I don't normally get to explain these sort of things. I'm usually just like, the sun is very big because it's close to us.
It's big because it's close to us. Compared to other stars, I understand. It all makes sense now. I understand.
I always get them to do like move their finger here. And
These
I'm like,
cows
really
are far
big,
away.
Now it's really small. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I feel personally attacked by that, Chloe.
Alex's eye can't handle it.
I can't.
You can close one, just use one eye, it's fine.
Doesn't no. But
Okay,
actually,
go on.
I'm actually really excited to see what happens next time.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That makes me.
I don't know who the green elf is.
I've
I'm
got a lot of
excited.
questions about your characters and things that I want to ask, but I don't want to ask them because I don't want to give anything away to people watching. But I'm really
I'm
enjoying
excited
the
about our D&D
relationships.
characters. I'm like rolling more like I also haven't played D&D in ages, but also just the fact that like I'm playing a NASA employee, but like I have these like wacky owl rogue skills.
Yeah.
I want to use those.
There is a question in chat. What is the difference between pitch and frequency?
Well, I think
well, yeah, it's what Shamini said in the
Yeah,
pitch
that's
is
what I
the
was
way that
responding
we
to.
describe
Yeah.
how we observe a frequency, essentially. They are the same thing.
you just wouldn't say it if you would just say it if you were singing and not if you were studying
Yeah.
space.
You wouldn't be like, oh, sing at frequency 400 hertz
Just
rather than,
yeah. Like that start, that's kind of like a B flat.
Oh my God, I bet they do. Is that what? Okay, so there are videos where people have taken images from like space and they play them in quotation marks.
Music.
Is that because they're taking the frequencies and then they play those notes?
That's
exactly it. I really
week.
wanted to do this for my dissertation, and my supervisor was like, "You can't do that. That's so complicated." And I was like, "No, I want to do it." And he was like, "Stop! Don't do it." And I didn't.
That's really
because
cool.
it was very complicated.
Yeah.
But
Probably not gonna sound very nice though, right? Like unless because if you just like were like, right, I'm gonna arbitrarily take light frequencies and turn them into sound, it'd be so clashing. Like you've got to do something clever to be like, oh, but also the intervals happen to work out nicely so that it's all
or do they not? Or is that like
harmonies.
kind of like golden ratio, but like it's like the song of the universe and it all just sounds pretty if you pointed to I'm sure that's not right, but it would be really poetic and awesome if it was, right? That would be like a really cool thing. If you pointed at one point of space, it was like, but then it's got to be like monkeys on typewriters, right? There's got to be a point of space that when you point it at, it plays "We Are the Champions" by Queen.
But you're always deciding how to map light frequency onto sound frequency. You're always, but I suppose you're not.
True,
but the interval, no,
intervals,
yeah. But there would have to be at least a ratio of the intervals, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. I'll go with that.
So then it would just be you're choosing the key essentially, I guess.
Yeah.
If it has a key.
So basically what we're saying is we worked out what the interval music for next week's going to be.
Oh, I'll just play that. Yes, that'll be good.
Hey!
Oh, I'll tell you what, some really deep, old-timey RPGeeks lore is the Mariah Carey All I Want for Christmas Is You MIDI version, which I know Alex has heard as well, because I know I've played it, which is just stunning. And it's nothing to do with any of this, but it just reminded me of it, because it's what we used to play as our interview music when I was feeling sneaky. And it's just, they took Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, they put it into a MIDI transposer, so that wrote it all out as music, including drums, including all her riffs, all the instruments, and then they play it back out through like a keyboard connected to the MIDI, and it's just chaos. But it's fantastic. And if you would like to hear it, just search Mariah Carey MIDI on YouTube, and it's like this horrible like green image of Mariah Carey as the picture, and you'll find it, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's very cool.
It gives Google Translate energy of like into Spanish into English back to Spanish again. Sort of.
Well, and also, Chloe, one thing, I actually saw it in chat earlier, someone saying, stuff like, oh yeah, everyone like, we're made of atoms, we're all made of like stardust and stuff. Like I always hear that, I always see that. And me with my biologist, biochemist hat on is, but so is a tapeworm. Like, relax, humble yourself.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Tapeworms are also magical and
they're
wonderful.
important too. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Tapeworm.
Bits of a star gone wrong. My favorite.
Maybe you're a bit of a star gone wrong. Think about that. Maybe that's what we are.
Aren't we all bits of stars gone wrong?
Yeah, me and a tapeworm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Special bonded through the universe.
You know when they say we're all stardust, and and we're all like from a star, and I understand. Is that because all of the elements of the universe just existed at the Big Bang?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but also because stars create nebulas after they've died, and then those nebulas are where stars are born. So it's like a cycle. So even if the gas and dust from that nebula became a planet, it might have originally been a star.
Yeah.
All the elements.
Not all the elements, sorry,
apart
but all of
from-
the like materials to make all the elements, because obviously things can form in places.
Yeah, but you need stars to make
Yeah.
heavier elements, and like
Yes.
so much of us is not
Yes.
hydrogen and helium, and therefore it had to have been born in a star. So it has to have been in a these
Yes.
atoms at some point must have come from a star.
But isn't that arbitrary? Because think about it, you go back through any point in life, you could then easily say, oh yeah, we've all come from the Big Bang. It sounds less like,
But-
but
That's why we're all Stardust, though. That is the
yeah,
reason.
but so is a
But
tapeworm.
stars aren't all of
You
stars
know,
aren't
why are you
all
so
of
mean on tapeworms?
the universe. Yeah,
Sorry, it's
super
not.
super biased against tapeworms.
I really hate tapeworms.
To be
It's
fair,
one of the-
they are shit. Like
yeah,
they're-
they honestly,
They're pretty awful.
yeah, exactly.
what's worse than a tapeworm in the animal
I think
kingdom?
a lot of things are worse than
I
a
mean, there are-
tapeworm. A
there are a lot of
tapeworm
things.
tapeworm is only a problem in two situations. If you're malnourished, a tapeworm is a problem because it's stealing your
Yeah.
nourishment. If you're well nourished, it will live inside you happily.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it's a beef
That's the
tapeworm that's come in the
problem.
normal way, you don't know it's there. Well, you might
just
poop
a
out
happy little
larvae.
parasite. Yeah.
It's not the worst kind of parasite. But the other thing is that if you get hawk tapeworms, there's a part of their life cycle where they can like burrow into your body because
Ooh.
it's the wrong part of their life cycle, so they don't
Oh.
form tapeworms in your intestine. They like form little
Oh.
wiggly crawlers, and it's not good.
Oh,
So
no.
that's also bad. So
Stardust.
And we're all made of stardust. I think mosquitoes
Stardust
are
did
worse.
that.
mosquitoes certainly kill more people. There are a lot worse parasites.
Is it true that
Technically,
they're the
it's
most
not
dangerous
mosquitoes
animal?
killing the people.
Not technically the mosquitoes. Sure.
I mean, yeah. I just hate them. They're bad for me.
Aw. Aw.
Boo. Biodiversity is important though, so you know, just not mosquito biodiversity. Right. I think we're wrapping up.
We got some biology in there. I'm happy.
We got some biology in there.
Yes.
Oh, thank
There
God.
we
Brought
are.
it back to biology in the end.
Yeah,
Oh,
tapeworms.
I can give you 30 minutes right now on malaria and the malaria vaccines and malaria everything. I will
tell you
tell
what,
all
give
of you
me-
after this stream ends.
Give me 1 minute on it, and then
Right.
finish with who you are and where people can follow you and find you on
Good
the
idea.
internet.
Sick one. Okay, cool. So you want a minute? Where do you want
Yeah.
me to start?
I'm gonna time you.
Vaccines. I want to know about malaria vaccines. How do you
Boom,
develop
okay.
a vaccine?
Hang on,
for
wait,
malaria?
hold,
Yeah, go
hold.
on.
Right,
I'm gonna
1,
time you.
2,
Yes.
Hang on,
3,
hang on, no,
4.
Stop.
Okay.
Get going.
Go.
He's cooking.
Right,
He's
3,
cooking.
2. Oh, let that boy cook. Boom. So it's really difficult to do the vaccine for a parasite because when you have like, you know, a virus and stuff, there are regularly like very few genes. So you've got a certain number of antigens, you can go for a certain number of proteins, but boom, a parasite like the flipping malaria on the plasmodium ones, they have loads and loads of different genes. And because of that, it's quite difficult to pick what to do. And it's sort of like, you know, when you see people going into like the bathroom at a McDonald's and then changing their clothes and come out, the body, the human immune system, thinks those are separate people. So you have 3 different types of vaccines. You can have transmission ones, like ones trying to stop
20
transmission, trying to stop actual infection of the liver cells, and ones that are trying to stop the movement from the liver into the blood. And so the ones that we have now are pre-ones, and they're pretty cool. Also, the first ones were found by taking mosquitoes and putting them into X-ray machines.
2, 1. And who are you and where can people find you on the internet for more of that fabulous stuff?
Oh, mate, I'm Dr. Alex Lathbridge. You can find me on TikTok at Dr. Lathbridge. I made my first TikTok and I got bullied. So
One person bullied you. It was one
that's-
person.
And so, yeah, and you can find me elsewhere on my website, alexlathbridge.com. And yeah, follow me. I'm pretty good at stuff, except waffling. Yeah.
Lathbridge, who knew? And
God's
Chloe,
sake.
do you have a solid minute on anything that you would like to do, or would you just like to plug your
No,
shit?
you don't have to do it. This is not like no
You know,
hesitation,
next,
repetition, or deviation.
Normally I'd say yes, but right now my brain is starting to die, so I think maybe no.
But who are you and
But-
where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm Chloe Elliott. You can find me at Chloe_with_the_flow pretty much everywhere. I am regular on Deck of Many Aces, which is the only asexual and aromantic D&D podcast. We are midway through our kind. Well, no, we're not midway through that. We're just weirdly ahead with recordings, so it's really throwing me off.
Yes.
We just finished
Wouldn't know that feeling.
a Monster of the Week short series that I GM'd, which is the third time I've GM'd in public, which was very fun. So that's just come out, so you can listen to that. It's very fun. You can also find me over on Rendezvous with Destiny, which is another podcast where we do lesser known systems. So our campaign at the minute is Bite Marks, which is all about werewolves. And I always plug it by
Haven't heard
saying
of
that
that.
we're really good at being werewolves and we're really bad at being people. So oh yeah. And last but not least, you can find me on Barry's and Spelljammer over on the Roleplay Factory on YouTube, where I play Jareth the Goblin King. We're all David Bowie in space,
Yay.
and it's as crazy as it sounds.
David Bowie in space, you say? I'm gonna
Yeah,
segue
every
that.
person is a different David Bowie, and I'm the Goblin King.
You should go listen to that. And if you really like David Bowie in space, you should also go watch our Orbital Blues campaign that we recently wrapped up, because there's also a very strong David Bowie in space reference in that. David Bowie in space is the way forward, everyone. You can find that over on our YouTube channel at RPGeeks D&D. We're there everywhere on the internet, really. And we've had a lovely time playing this National TTRPG. It really is fun. You should go check it out. But also maybe don't come back next week and watch the finale. And
check it out
and then go have a look. And then we'll be working on the next one when we write to NASA and say, hey, let us help you. Thanks very much.
It's not
Should we
rocket
do
science.
some-
Get it
what?
together.
Should we do the Patreon shout outs next week?
Oh, we should do some. Let's do some now. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do some. Let me get the
Some quick
Patreon up.
ones.
Phil, Charmony, go.
Oh no, I have a solid minute on more Parasite facts. I did a film, BBC series on parasites once.
Oh, you did.
And so I'm quite into.
Was that the one where you
Parasite.
taped the stuff to your arm?
Look, we needed lice. Sometimes one needs lice for a film, right? So what you do is you go to the lice professionals and you say, "Can I have some lice, please?" And they say, "Yes." But did you know that lice need to drink human blood to live? They don't really live very long. And you're like, well, filming's not until like day after tomorrow. It's only so quick that we can arrange filming. And they say, that's fine. Just strap the lice in a little pot to your arm and let them drink your blood, and that will keep them alive.
There you
So did that. Had some arm lice. It was great fun.
Wild.
Yeah.
There you go. I found it now. So does someone want to roll me a dice and roll me a D12?
I actually do, because I actually went and got my dice.
Sorry, there wasn't a lot of dice rolling today, so I apologise for that.
No.
But
What am I
Okay.
rolling?
I'll roll rolling first. Boom. 10.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Andy Hartley. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do for this shout out? We haven't
For
planned.
NASA.
A NASA TTRPG.
A spatial thing, a thing that you find in space. What are they called?
Spatial thing.
A space object, like a phenomenon, like a spatial phenomenon. What would Andy Hartley be if he was a spatial phenomenon?
If Andy Hartley was a spatial phenomenon, I
Yeah.
don't want to be rude.
He'd be the Aurora Borealis.
Oh, there you go.
Because
Relevant.
it's beautiful.
And
And
lots
Everyone
of
looks
people,
at it and goes, wow, and takes pictures.
Yes,
And
exactly.
lots of-
A bunch of
lots and lots
excited
of people.
electrons.
A
Yeah,
bunch of
exactly.
Andy is
excited
very much a bunch of
electrons.
excited electrons.
I did
Yeah.
like all of the like memes and things of the aurora, people being like, the sun hurls atoms at like ridiculous speeds through the atmosphere, and humans, oh, pretty. Yeah, give me another one. Let's do another one.
Have you got one? Dialects.
Okay, boom. What am I?
D12.
Okay, I've got a 6.
A 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kieran Hingston, who is in chat. Kieran, you are. Oh
Ooh.
God. Go
I
on.
said
Al.
quasar, but I forgot
Okay,
what
no,
a
no,
quasar
no.
is. So I
No,
Ah,
I got
shouldn't
it.
say it.
You are Bertrand Russell's teapot, floating around in space. Do we know how you
That's
got there?
great.
Probably not. Have you made life better for many people? Have you given lots of things for people to think about and ponder? You have. That's the type of person that you are. You are a person, an individual who gives lots of other people things to think about. And that is a beautiful, wonderful thing, because it means that when you are dead and gone, people will still have you in their memory.
What a love. There you
That's
go,
beautiful.
Kieran. That's lovely. We'll do
Aw.
one more. So each of you, Chloe, have you got a D12 you can roll?
Yes, I do. That's a 10 again. We already had that one,
roll
didn't
it
we?
again. Yeah, Andy doesn't get to.
11.
11 is Calamity Cass.
Ooh, Calamity Cass.
She has to be like a nebula, because
Oh, my brain went straight to Smick Cashegrain.
What's that?
Which is less interesting. It's a type of telescope.
I was-
But it's a very cool type of telescope.
okay.
Because it's like so you've got reflecting telescopes where there's like a mirror at the end and the light comes in and then it bounces up. And you've got a little mirror, so it comes out near the top and you look at it from the side. And it's like a fancy reflector, so it goes down to the bottom and then it comes up to a little one in the middle, back to the big curved mirror at the bottom again,
Oh.
and then up out the front. I
So
think
the
that's
way you're
right.
pointing
I
it,
can
you
never
look at it.
remember.
Where are you looking? You're looking.
Yeah,
So you've got your
I'm
back
not
basically to the
sure.
thing that the
I
telescope's
can't
looking at.
remember exactly. It's definitely better than a normal reflector, but I have never used one, so I don't know why.
But they make cool pictures, and Cass is an artist.
They
So
do.
there we go. That works.
Whee.
There we are.
Perfect. We've cracked it. I love that. Thank you to all our patrons. We really, really appreciate it. It's how we keep going. So thank you. It's just you're the best. We appreciate you. With that being said, we've been the RP Geeks. These are our friends. Look at them. They're lovely and beautiful and excellent and talented.
They have to be looked
Go
at.
follow them all everywhere, and we will see you next week for more of the Lost Universe, a NASA TTRPG. Goodbye.
Bye.